Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment Discussion is live. Cue host Owen Finch.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to WWE Aftershock. I don't even know what week it is or anything like that because we haven't done a normal Aftershock in a long time. So I'm just going to call it WWE Aftershock and you'll just take what you're given. I'm probably going to title this like first normal one in a long time. But I'm Owen the Birdman Finch and I'm here with...
Chris.
And yeah, are you ready? We're doing our first normal Aftershock where we're actually going to go over the shows. It's not playing catch-up. It's not doing any of that. It's going to be our first just regular... plain old Aftershock. You ready to kind of get back into doing this again? Or are you freaking nervous and scared? You're gonna pull a Hulk Hogan and be like, "Yeah, no, don't work for me anymore. Don't work for me, brother."
I'm scared and terrified, and I'm gonna pull a Hulk Hogan.
This doesn't work for you. This don't work for you, brother.
This doesn't work for me, brother.
No, well, you're already here, so I don't know. I don't really know what more you can do. So,
I don't know either.
But yeah, we're going to get back to normal. Before we kind of do the typical breakdown of every show that's happened recently, there was a bit of news then that we forgot to break down on the summer of 2024. I want to make sure we touch on because we went for so long and then we were kind of having some production issues that we forgot to mention it. So I want to make sure we mention it now because it was kind of a big thing. Next year in 2025... WWE is going to cut back on their house shows. They're not going to fully stop doing them. They'll still be a thing, but there's not going to be as many house shows. They did say the number, but I forget the number because this news is kind of old. But pretty much, it's going to be very limited house show dates. And pretty much a lot of this stuff is going to mainly be for the television audience. It's going to be all TV shows. I think there'll be some house shows. They didn't really go into detail about that, but, there is going to be some house shows. I'll kind of give my thoughts on this first, because I'm kind of mixed on this, but I'm kind of more in favor on it, but I do have some of my concerns about this. I'm obviously kind of in favor of this, because this means that the wrestlers will get more time off the road and be with their families, which I think, is, as we saw in the Mr. McMahon documentary that's come out now. They're not going to be working like that. And it's even been limited from then. They said that back then it was 7 days a week. It's even less dates than that, so it's going to be even less. But nowadays, wrestlers can kind of get more time with their families to kind of heal their bodies up, and they're not going to be as injured as often, which I think is a great thing. I guess the negatives kind of to it all. And it's kind of, some negatives. I don't know what this means for NXT's on their side of things, or their house shows will stay the same, because NXT kind of needs the house shows, especially, too, because a lot of the people that show up at those house shows, for the most part, have never been in a wrestling ring before, so this kind of helps them out. So I think kind of NXT needs the house shows more. And also, too, again, the wrestlers also need the house shows to kind of get their reps in, because a lot of them, a lot of the matches they do on the house shows, kind of help to prepare for the PLEs. So I kind of think that's kind of where you go with that. But overall, I'm kind of in favor of them kind of cutting back on house shows too, just because there's really no need for them to do it. They're making so much money with their TV deals now and stuff like that. There's really no need for a house show. And it kind of helps too, because what's annoying now is because of the way technology is nowadays and stuff like that, they can't really do as much experiments off air now as they would before, because nowadays people just kind of bring their phones in and just kind of upload I could send you some of the clips. They'll just upload the house show anyways, so it's not really special when they do that stuff on the house shows. So I'm kind of in favor of the house shows not really being a thing anymore, because this way now the wrestlers will get more time to be with their families. They won't be as injured now. The only drawback, I guess, will be is they won't have that practice as much as they had before, because obviously they won't be on the house show. So I think the NXT wrestlers, I think, will suffer more not having the house shows, because a lot of the wrestlers won't really get a chance to really be in a wrestling ring as much. Maybe they could do house shows just at the PC. Or maybe just, because they stay in Florida for the most part anyways for the house shows, so maybe NXT's could just stay the same. It wouldn't be that big a deal, but what do you think though? The fact that they're going to limit the house shows now, WWE for the most part.
I like it a lot. Like, cut down on them, saves them on injury, saves them on like wrestlers getting injured because they're working so much. But yeah, I like it. I'm very much in favor of them cutting it down.
Definitely. But that's pretty much it. We didn't really cover that last time, so I'm going to make sure we covered it because there's really no other chance to cover it. We could have just covered it at the end of the year, but by then we'll kind of know what happens. But yeah, again, house shows not completely gone. I imagine. I would complain that if they did like 2 a month, that would be okay, or like maybe 3. But there's no need to do as many as they were, especially because if you've been to one house show in that span of time, you've kind of been to all of them. I remember I went to a house show in like Florida, and a lot of people say that was like the same house show you got everywhere else. They just do this. They just trial the same matches a lot for the most part. So, so there's no need to do a house show anymore. So, but yeah, let's kind of get to the actual show itself. I just wanted to make sure we cover that news. And yeah, we're just going to start reviewing the weekly programming. So let's kind of just start getting into that. I want to start with main event first, just because, main event's the dog show before Raw. It's Teach before Raw. So we're going to get into that. So I have a little story about kind of the ways I had to watch main event and NXT Level Up this week, because there's a big change that happened on those shows for the most part. So as everybody knows, main event and Level Up used to air on Hulu. For a while there, you would pretty much get it the next day on Hulu. I think how it went is, typically it's on Wednesday, and the next day it would air at they would put it on Hulu at like 7 a.m. It'd be the same thing for Level Up. Level Up would air on Peacock Friday, and then it would air the next day on Saturday. They would put it on Hulu. But that's not going to be the case anymore. I think WWE's deal with Hulu is up because none of the Raws and none of the SmackDowns are there anymore. And if you go to watch Level Up or Main Event, you can't find it there anymore. This obviously leaves a question of what's going to happen with Level Up and Main Event, because Main Event doesn't air at all on Peacock. I think it's like a 30-day delay of when you actually see it. And then Level Up, they will air live on Peacock. It used to be right after SmackDown, but I think it's going to be right after the SmackDown Lowdown now, because now they do the SmackDown Lowdown right after SmackDown. And, that's going to be right after that. So it will be interesting to kind of see what happens. I imagine what's going to happen is they're just going to keep doing Main Event and then Level Up like they were. Level Up, I don't think will really change that much. And then Main Event, they'll just probably wait until afterwards. I imagine what happens, too, is maybe right after, Raw goes to Netflix, maybe they'll do they'll air Main Event, it'll be like a pre-show type of thing before Raw, since everything's, outside of the States going to Netflix, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that. This was a nice birthday present for you, though, because this happened on September 26th, and, a typical bit back and forth has been you've been hating Main Event, you don't like Main Event, you don't want to cover it on this show anymore, and, a nice little birthday present happened for you where they chose to do all of this the day of your birthday. I bet this was a nice little birthday present that you got from WWE over here. I bet you were happy about this.
Pumped.
Unfortunately, though, you didn't get a complete birthday present because I found ways to find Main Event and Level Up. They're not legal ways. Well, I guess Main Event was legal because that was on YouTube, but, Level Up wasn't really legal. It was kind of illegal. So if I could still watch them, I could still review them. So I bet you're thinking this is a nice little. You got like a nice little birthday present for like one day, thinking we weren't gonna be covering Main Event and Level Up anymore. And then all of a sudden, I found other ways to watch it. So I was like, yeah, I found it, dude. So yeah, we're watching it. So I'm still reviewing it. So I bet you're just like, yay, but nice birthday present. It's like your birthday present got like sent back like 24 hours later. Like, oh damn, man, like Owen found a way to watch it to really screw me up. You notice too, I waited till like the next day to tell you. I didn't even tell you on your birthday. I let you have that moment, and then your birthday was over, and I told you the next day, like right in the morning too. Like I just set you up for such disappointment. Wait, how'd you feel about that? I bet you love that.
I was sad.
All the emotions that I got, was I pretty correct on those, or was there something I missed?
No.
But yeah, let's just start covering main event. If you want to know how I found main event, there's a YouTube channel. I think it's called like WWE Espanol or something that uploads main event. I got the Spanish commentary version of it, though. I didn't get the English commentary version. But I like the Spanish commentary version. It was still pretty good. So I'll just kind of say who was on commentary for that. I don't know who was on the English side. Because main event, they're not even sending the English commentators there anymore. You could definitely tell they're not there, which I think is hilarious, Chris. You're like that they're not even bothering sending the English commentators there anymore. They get to sit at home. They're just doing it at a studio. So I bet you love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a couple matches this week of main event. The commentary team, I don't exactly know. I know Jerry Soto was one of the Spanish guys on commentary team because he says his name, but I don't know if it was just him or if it was someone else bouncing off along with him. But it's really tough to tell. But I actually enjoyed it more watching with the Spanish commentary team because they're actually better than I think than the English commentary team that typically does main events. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's get to these matches that were on main events. This week, the first one was Akira Tozawa versus Karrion Kross. So I bet you're happy about this, Chris. This shows that Karrion Kross's career isn't going very well if he's stuck on main event now. So I bet you're happy about this.
Fuck yeah.
Overall, this was a good match right here. Very back and forth. Tozawa starts to take it to him. Starts hitting a lot of really quick offense onto Karrion Kross. He goes for a suicide dive on the outside, but Karrion Kross catches him, and he does like a choke slam like right into the post, which was pretty cool. And then eventually Karrion Kross started taking over the match with his dominant, high power moves. Then eventually Tozawa made a comeback, and it looked like he was getting things going. He started tearing his shirt off, but then Karrion Kross spun up right into his feet, so like it kind of made Tozawa put his shirt back on, showing that wasn't going to work for him. And then Tozawa went to hit another high flying move, but Karrion Kross countered it, and he hit like the spinning F5. I don't even know what he calls that move. Tozawa for the win, and Karrion Kross won. Overall, this was a good match. I give it 3 stars. I thought this was good stuff right here. I thought this made Kross look pretty strong. I don't think it's really going to do anything to change his career in the WWE right now because, he still can't really get over. So that's, he really wasn't over here in this match either. It was more Tozawa that was than Kross. He was just kind of there. So we'll kind of see if this changes Karrion Kross's career, though. Then the other match on Level Up was Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark, which is pretty funny because they're having a match this week on Raw, so they might just do the same match they did here on Raw. Overall, relatively good stuff. Eventually the baby faces and heels, because Lyra was accompanied by Natalya and Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark was accompanied by Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, and eventually everyone kind of ran interference. They all fought each other off, and eventually Lyra Valkyria won with the night win on Zoe Stark for the win. I feel like this match was supposed to happen on Raw like last week, but what ended up happening was I think they showed that Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes segment, so that's probably got moved to main events. So they're basically gonna do it again this week. I only guess that's what happened because it seemed like this match was supposed to happen on Raw because it didn't. This kind of had like a Raw vibes match. I was like, yeah, I think this match got bumped to main event. So yeah, but overall good stuff. I gave this match like 3.25 stars. It's pretty good. That was main event. I thought main event was solid. I'll give it like a B-. I think having the Spanish commentary team, I thought Jerry Soto was very entertaining. So, yeah, that's good stuff. But let's get to the show you actually want to talk about, Chris. You want to talk about Raw. You're probably thinking to yourself, damn, I thought I have to hear about this stuff again. Damn it. So, let's get to Raw. So, Raw last week took place on September 23rd, 2024. And the commentary team was Wade Barrett and Joe Tessie. I'll see if I can say his full name. Joe Tessitore. Is that correct, Chris, or am I wrong on that?
Yes.
Okay, that's correct. So, they were very good on commentary. They showed everybody arriving like they've typically been doing. I will say, we didn't talk about this in the last video, but lately Lee Fitted has been up in his game recently when it comes to the production. I mean, he's been doing that anyways, but he's also been doing other stuff. Like now he'll show like who on the bottom of the screen, he'll show who the commentary team is, and he'll also show like who the ring announcer is. So the ring announcer here was Samantha Irvin, and it'll show who the backstage interviewers are, which was Jackie Redmond and Kathy Kelly on this show. Even though I don't think you saw Jackie Redmond at all interview anyone on this show. I think it was just Kathy Kelly. So it was kind of weird. But you know, and on the left-hand corner, he'll kind of talk about the highlights. He'll kind of do stuff that's incoming, and then he'll kind of talk about highlights that happen throughout the show, and things like that. And then at the end now, I think this has been recent, he'll do, like, credits at the end, and he'll say, like, the executive producers and stuff. So I think, and, you know, he's been doing this also, which has been a typical thing where, you know, he'll show a wrestler. I think it's typically Sami Zayn he does this for. Make his entrance backstage, and then it'll be like a consistent shot. Something I've been enjoying lately too is there's not consistent jumping cuts like there used to be in a match. It would stay in one shot. I think there's like probably 4 shots each match that happens. So I'm pretty sure. Well, 4 cuts. I make it sound like wrestlers are taking shots during a match. It's not shots. It's 4 camera cuts each match. So I'm enjoying how Lee Finnan's been producing the shows recently. How have you been enjoying? Because you haven't talked about he's been kind of doing more in the summer than he was. So how have you been kind of enjoying how he's been producing the show recently? Because he's been doing more stuff recently.
I thought he's been doing great. I thought that the presentation's awesome.
But yeah, let's get to the show. So during this, it shows Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan arrive in Eddie Guerrero's old Corvette. I'm pretty sure this is the Corvette, you could correct me if I'm wrong, that they bought. I don't know if they actually bought it, though. Like, in Hidden Treasures. Most Wanted Treasures. But I forget if they were actually successful. If this was, like, a loan job. Because I'm pretty sure this is the same one. Am I correct on that? Because you've seen that episode of Most Wanted Treasures. Is this the same Corvette? So I remember Dawn.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I remember they didn't get the Corvette. But it's also been a while since I've seen that episode. I don't know if they got it, like... You know, because sometimes they'll say, I'll loan it to you. So I wasn't sure if this was the same thing that happened. So... But yeah, they arrive to the arena, and, you know, you think this is just going to be a regular old, like, thing where they're just going to come out, but that's not what happens. During all of this, Braun Strowman just all of a sudden, like, tackled Bronson Reed into, like, a table that had, like, merch. Sorry, he didn't go through the table, he went, like, over the table, and they had to be separated and everything like that. I thought this was hilarious, and I actually really liked this, you know, it kind of got you to pay attention to Raw, like, immediately. It was, like, a very quick thing that happened, but I really like this. So, before I kind of get to the actual promo and stuff, what'd you think of this little thing that happened between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed? I didn't really expect it either. Because I forgot, I had to take notes on Raw this week, because this was the first time I've had to take notes on all the show this week. So I you know, this kind of came out of nowhere. It really took me by surprise. So what'd you think of this?
I liked it. It set up for what would happen later on in the night. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot.
So yeah, then Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio make their entrance. They come out, and a lot of this segment, you know, before Rhea comes out, was very by the numbers. You know, Liv Morgan's kind of repeating a lot of the promos that she's been saying recently, where she talked about how she, like, took everything from Rhea Ripley. And I was kind of bored by this promo segment, mainly just because this is the same promo that Liv's been cutting for a while. And, you know, she talked about Dominic Mysterio as, like, the most handsome guy on the roster. Again, we've kind of heard all that before. The best part of this, before Rhea comes out, was Joe Tessie and Wade Barrett going back and forth on commentary, because they've been kind of doing this now where Joe Tessie will put down Dom, and Wade will get wicked offended by it, which I think is really funny. Their back and forth is getting better every week when they are on commentary. So then Rhea comes out. She's in a knee brace, but she said that she's not going to, you know, strike Liv Morgan or anything like that. And Rhea Ripley talks about how, you know, Liv Morgan really didn't take anything from Rhea Ripley. All she did was really take her weaknesses, and now she's going to, you know, pull all of that to the side and focus on winning the Women's World Championship and put an end to the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Doing this, Dominic Mysterio actually steps in and stands in front of Liv so that way, you know, he can protect her. And I think this was funny because Rhea Ripley's like, oh, now you finally grown a set, which I think was really funny. But we got the big reveal.
Doesn't have any.
But we got the big reveal here that there's going to be a special stipulation to the match at Bad Blood. And we find out that at Bad Blood, Dominic Mysterio is going to be suspended from the ring in a shark cage. And we found out later on, Rhea Ripley did an interview about this on the exclusives, which should have been on the show, but again, I wonder if that was cut also because of because they showed the Roman Cody thing on this show. That we find out, well, originally the reason why Dom was afraid of this is because he doesn't want to be locked up again, because, he was in prison a couple years ago, and that messed him up,
Pussy.
And then we find out, though, that Dom's apparently afraid of heights, and, him being a hunt above the wind in a shark cage. And this is not a true fear, actually. Like, this is a fear that Dominic Mysterio actually has. So I think that was pretty funny. And then at the end of all of this, Rhea Ripley said, when I said I wasn't going to hit you, I lied. And then she ends up hitting the headbutt onto Liv Morgan, completely laying her out. And that was kind of the end of the segment there. I ended up kind of liking this segment. I think Rhea Ripley kind of made this segment something worth watching. A lot of the stuff that Rhea said, I admit, was the same, but I think Rhea just has this aura where she could just come out there and literally say anything now, where I think people just are into her enough, and the stipulation and getting announced with Dominic Mysterio kind of brings something different to the match. And it kind of makes sense because, Dominic Mysterio has been interfering in all of Liv Morgan's title defenses, so it makes sense that, that, they would add that stipulation finally here. So overall, what'd you think of this nice little promo segment here? I thought it was good stuff. I give it like a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up.
That's good stuff.
It was good. I liked it, especially with the fact that Rhea said that that Dom gave him some balls for the first time because he doesn't have any.
What about the part where you find out that Dom has to go into a shark cage? He's definitely afraid of heights and everything.
Oh, that's the best part. That is the best fucking part. That's the best news. Is that little fucking creeper has to go up in the cage.
So then we had the first match. We had the first match on the show. It was Sami Zayn versus Ludwig Kaiser. This was good stuff. Actually, it was great stuff. They had a great back and forth match. I'm pretty sure this match went through 2 commercial breaks too. So that was cool. Sami Zayn gets the offense in the beginning, and he goes to hit a moonsault, his typical moonsault that he hits on the outside. And Ludwig pushed him, and he landed into the timekeeper's area, which was really cool. And this caused Ludwig to kind of dominate the rest of the match for a while. He hits his patented drop kick while Zayn's propped up against the step, which is how he's taking out people like Giovanni Vinci and all that type of stuff. And then eventually Sami Zayn mounted a comeback. He hit the exploder into the corner, followed by the haluva kick himself. And Sami Zayn won the match, which made all the sense in the world because trying to build him up to face Gunther for the world title in the future, whenever that is. We don't know yet. And then Gunther comes out. He's in his ring gear and everything like that. And he acts like he's going to accept Sami Zayn's challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. But he still says no. He's, he kind of duped everybody there. Yeah, but overall, I really liked this. I gave the match 4 stars. I thought it was a great match. I thought this made Ludwig Kaiser look very strong, and it made sense for Sami to get a win because he hasn't had a win in a while. Because I don't think he's wrestled since he lost the IC title that much. So this kind of gave Sami Zayn a win. And I like the storyline they're doing with Gunther, where he won't fight Sami Zayn. Because Gunther's typically not really backed away from a challenge, and it makes sense why he would back away from Sami Zayn, since Sami Zayn's the last guy that beat him. So that makes all the sense in the world. But I like, Gunther's kind of not really saying why he won't fight Sami Zayn, so it's not like he's being a completely coward about it. Kind of is, but that's kind of just me being in support of Sami Zayn and stuff like that. But overall, this was great stuff. I give it 4 stars. What do you think of this?
I give it 4 stars too. The match was really good. A really, really, really good opening match. Yeah, it was really good. I thought what they were going to go. I thought they were going to give it away on free TV. I thought they were going to have Gunther come out when he came out in his gear. I was like, oh, he's going to do the heel thing and make Sami compete right now for the title. But they didn't.
Yeah.
And because that's like a Vince thing. Vince always did that. But yeah, I thought that the match itself was good, and I thought the segment was good. I don't know how much longer they can keep up with, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this for. Yeah. But, it's I think it's nearing its conclusion. I think we're going to get that match of Bad Blood.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd be absolutely fine with that. I think what's good about this is because Gunther's never really backed away from a challenge. That's why they seem to get away with it for a while. I think it's either going to happen at Bad Blood or Crown Jewel, because, that's in Saudi, and Sammy's going to be beloved in Saudi. So, I think that'd be kind of cool. That would get Gunther some really great heat, too, if he beats Sammy in Saudi.
It would.
I think that'd be cool. Because quite frankly, too, because they already have 5 matches on tap for Bad Blood already. And that's kind of the limit that Triple H typically does. They could, and I feel like Gunther and Sammy wouldn't get the time it deserves if they put it on Bad Blood. So I'm kind of hoping that they save that for... That'd be like a nice Saudi main event, because Sammy, that they could do too. But it probably wouldn't main event like semi-main event. It would probably be something like Cody or Roman related that main events Crown Jewel. So, but yeah, continuing with the show. Xavier Woods is backstage, and Kofi Kingston comes up to him, and Xavier Woods apologizes, that he lost his temper last week from going off on Kofi and everyone, that they lost the tag titles, and Kofi says that it's just water under the bridge, and Kofi apologizes that he's been kind of going behind Woods' back and not communicated with him with stuff that should have happened about plans and everything like that. So he kind of just wants to focus on the New Day's 10-year anniversary together. He went to the warehouse to pay to his respects to the Hell in a Cell first, probably the red cage. He probably did that first. And then he went.
You should pay your respects.
And then he went and got some of the New Day's old merch, like the trombone, Francesca whatever's, because there's been so many of those. The Bootios, like cereal, and the cereal box, and they kind of want to just have like a nice little tribute, kind of pay respects to the 10-year decade anniversary of the New Day. But Xavier kind of doesn't want to do any of this stuff. He said this is what happened. This is the stuff we should be doing when we're on top. We're not really on top right now. We kind of need to get a little bit more serious. So Kofi Kingston kind of agrees with them. So he said he's gonna let Xavier Woods call the plays of the New Days from now on. And during this, American Made come up, and they kind of make fun of the New Day for being down on their luck on the fact that they lost the tag titles. And Kofi Kingston had a really good clapback when he said to Chad Gable, "Hey, the Wyatt Six are behind you," and like the American Made kind of got all worried and looked behind them, but there was nobody there, so that was pretty funny. And this kind of leads to the New Day challenging American Made to a tag match later on, which they end up accepting. So they kind of walk off, and well, actually, it's not even the New Day that challenges. Kofi has Xavier Woods make the play, and that's what happens. So that was kind of important there. And then, they talk about how they're ready to get back on the winning track. And doing all this, some guy comes up with them with pancakes, and Kofi Kingston, is going like this, being like, "No, gotta call this off." And the guy, runs off before, Xavier Woods sees it, which is pretty funny. But I like this segment that's kind of continued, the storyline of the New Day, and it kind of got American Made kind of back in the conversation for the tag division, since they kind of need to kind of get their momentum back going. Also, Brutus Creed was really funny here, mocking the New Day, because he was putting on this squeaky voice and everything like that, which is pretty funny. So I thought that was good. Overall, what'd you think of this backstage segment there? I thought it was a good backstage segment.
I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good backstage segment. Yeah, I mean, it's setting up the next feud for the New Day. Which it looks like it's American Made. Yeah, I like it. I like the callbacks. Even Woods was like, "Yeah, that's good and all, but yeah, I'm ready to move past that." I was like, "God damn it, no!"
You weren't ready.
No. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's. I think it's gonna be a really good feud if that actually is the feud, which I think it is.
Yeah. And I'm liking this, we'll kind of come back to this, but they're continuing this kind of setting up a breakup of the New Day or something like that, tension. So they continued that throughout the show. Then another backstage segment happened. Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Adam Pearce were backstage. And Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, are upset that Dom has to be hunted above the shark cage, and they say that this isn't going to be good for his mental health. So Adam Pearce doesn't care, though. He said that the match is official anyways, and he kind of walks off. And Carlito and JD McDonough come up, and they say that the match is made official, so there's really nothing that they can do about it. They said Finn wasn't there. They didn't really say why he wasn't there, in the show, but we find out later on throughout the week that he was on, a second honeymoon, but he just went on vacation with his wife somewhere. So we don't really, I forget where, but That's where he was. The Judgment Day kind of go get ready because Liv Morgan wants Khali to go take care of Dragon Lee since the LWO keep getting involved in their business. So they go to have their match. It is Khali that's taking care of him. I thought it was JD at first, but it is Carlito. And they run into Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov have a face-off, and you can feel the tension there if you've studied their feud back in NXT and the NXT UK brand. And JD even says if Finn Balor hadn't been there last week, he would have laid him out. And Ilya even says, well, he's not here now. Why don't you lay me out now? And he's like, well, we got other business to take care of. But he said that these warnings are going to stop being warnings. But these warnings are going to stop being warnings, and you better make up your mind about what you're going to do when it comes to getting involved with Judgment Day business. He basically tells them to stay out of it, and they kind of all walk off. Overall, I like this. It's setting up JD kind of his first, well, I guess his second big feud on the main roster. I think it's going to ultimately be with Finn, but I feel like you could kind of do something again with JD and Ilya because I kind of want to see that. They've always had great matches in NXT together, so I kind of want to see that brought back onto the main roster. But overall, what'd you think of this backstage segment right here? I thought it was overall good stuff.
I liked it. But Dominus fucking plays like he deserves. That little piece of shit. He deserves to be in that fucking shark cage, try to weasel his way out of it. What a little bitch. And then JD McDonough, dude, you had a chance to sucker punch him right there, and you go, I'm gonna run away like a little baby.
He had business.
I'm gone.
He had a business to take care of. He said so.
I'm gone. I'm just gonna stand ringside. I can't fight you right now, actually, because I'm gonna be standing ringside. He said do something about it, and he ran away like a little coward.
Maybe Finn said not yet. Maybe Finn said now's not the time. It was kind of like a warning shot.
But it wasn't there, so he couldn't say not the time.
Well, maybe the cell phones and stuff nowadays, bud. Maybe he said hey, if you want into Ilya, it's still not the time. Maybe that's what happened.
Nope, he's a coward, and he ran away.
All right, whatever you say, man. Whatever you say.
It's the truth.
So then we had the next match on the show. It was Dragon Lee with the LWO inside minus Ray versus Carlito with the Judgment Day but minus Finn Balor because he was on vacation this week. And I guess I don't think Liv was out there, and I think she stayed back, which is weird because Zelina was out there but not Liv, so that was kind of weird. But whatever. But overall, relatively good stuff here. Dragon Lee hits a lot of high-flying offense onto Carlito, but eventually Carlito takes the heat to him. He hits a really cool swing neck breaker from the middle, from the top rope, and then eventually, Judgment Day looks like has taken out the LWO. They throw him into the post and stuff, and it looks like Carlito's going to get the win. But Rey Mysterio comes back. That's the first time we see him since Finn Balor took him out. And he takes out Dominic Mysterio with a Cena Senton. And this allows Dragon Lee to hit the stand-in sea fire. I don't know what he actually calls it, but it's the stand-in sea fire onto Carlito for the win. And obviously Judgment Day's upset about this. And yeah, this was good. I like this. I give it 3 stars. I think Dragon Lee needed a win. He hasn't had a big win in a while, and this kind of continues the feud between LWO and Judgment Day, which I think is pretty good stuff. So I like this. What do you think of this?
I thought it was a pretty good match. To be honest, a very good match. Nice to see Ray again. They made the right choice by going after this piece of shit son. He made the absolute right choice. What a great father. Wonderful man. And yeah, at this, I give it like 3 stars. It was pretty good.
Then backstage, The Miz is backstage warming up because he's supposed to face Bronson Reed. Then Karrion Kross comes up to him and he kind of mentions to The Miz that not a lot of people have faith in you, that you can take it to Bronson Reed, because you're not like a monster, you're kind of undersized. But I have faith in you because monsters come in all different types, shapes and sizes. And this kind of leaves The Miz going off. The Miz did kind of question, wondering what's going on with him, but it looks like kind of Karrion Kross is getting to him. I really wasn't that into this segment. This is kind of more of the same stuff we've been doing to Karrion Kross. We've kind of talked about this before. I feel like this isn't really going to go anywhere. It's probably going to lead to like them having a match, and then like just they might actually have a good match. They could surprise us, but I'm just not really into this. I could do without this. What do you think of this? I'm not really that into this.
It was a hit or miss segment. No one cares about Cross. I guess in a way that it's a way for them to kind of get Miz back to being a heel again. I don't know. It's just like it's they've tried time and time again with him being a heel, and it's just like I don't know. It's at this stage, it's not going to work anymore. It's not like he can be dastardly anymore because everyone legitimately likes him.
Yeah.
And I don't get like what the purpose is of like what. So he turns heel and does what? Joins Cross's team. He doesn't fit in that stable at all.
Not at all.
So I don't get the point of like them of like Cross like trying to manipulate Miz if like he doesn't fit in the Final Testament even remotely.
Especially because Cross can't win any matches himself. Like he doesn't win anything. I mean, I know he won recently on Main Event, but that's it. He can't win any big matches.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't get it. Like I can understand like if Cross was like on his own and he needed like a tag partner or something, like and tried to manipulate the Miz into like turning heel and whatnot. But like other than that, like he has two monsters with him. Like it's just Miz doesn't fit in the Final Testament at all. But yeah, I didn't get it, and I still don't get it.
Probably never will get it. So,
but it's an okay segment, I guess. Like it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I think Triple H just needs to stop with the Karrion Cross project. He's tried it like 4
times.
times.
He's trying so hard with Cross, and I feel like it's just he tried at the beginning when he brought him back. No one cared. Took him away for a little while, brought him back. Still nobody cared. And it's like, no one cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting. He's not interesting.
I don't even know. I don't think he's ever going to be interested. The only thing that can make him interested is maybe if they merge Judgment Day and they just join Judgment Day, you know, because Judgment Day need heavies now since they lost Priest and Rhea, and that'd be heavies. But like even then, like I don't even know if everyone would even care even then. So
they fit more in that mold.
Yeah.
Being their own group that no one cares about.
Yeah. Then we had Sheamus get interviewed. And, he talked about, like, how upset he was that Pete Dunne stooped to those lows to, beat him. And he said that this feud isn't over yet. He basically tells the audience not to call him Butch. He says that he doesn't like that. But, he acted like a real Butch when he pulled those stunts last week to, beat me in the match. Overall, good stuff. Continues that feud, and good stuff by Sheamus here. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. That's continuing the feud with him and Pete Dunne. It's really odd, and they haven't explained why Pete Dunne is feuding with Sheamus. They have not explained why he's turned heel yet. They have not even remotely explained it at all, period. Like, it's just like, oh, he was heel. And then it's like, oh, he's heel in NXT now, feuding with Trick and trying to get a title shot. It's like, why, though? What is the purpose of him turning heel? There's no reason.
I mean, they did explain... I think they explained it a few weeks ago on like an exclusive that you might not have seen. So that's probably what happened. Because he doesn't like the fact that Sheamus called him Butch and little brothered him and all that type of stuff. So
that's a stupid reason to be a heel.
But I haven't hated his heel one. It keeps him doing something.
I haven't hated it, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Then we had, we were supposed to have The Miz versus Bronson Reed, but the match never happens during Bronson Reed's entrance. Braun Strowman comes up out of nowhere from, like, the crowd and, like, leaps onto Bronson Reed, and they get into another brawl. There has to be pole-to-pole. The Miz is kind of like upset about this. He's like, you know, he kind of talks down Braun Strowman a little bit, like wondering why he kind of got involved with this, which kind of allows Braun to hit a suicide dive onto, you know, Braun Strowman, and the Miz was like pretty much out of this afterwards, which was pretty funny. Like after this, you don't see the Miz ever again. I guess he just went backstage and he was like, I guess this isn't gonna happen. They got into a nice polar pop brawl. Security had to separate him a few times, and then eventually, when Bronson Reed was pretty into facing off against Braun Strowman, but then until when Braun Strowman was about to go off the top rope, that's when Big Bronson Reed kind of finally backed off. So this was an awesome brawl. I've loved the brawls together, and I've loved this feud. What you think of this? This was awesome.
I love the whole fucking thing. I love the fake ring break. Because I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I legit thought they were going to break the ring. And that's happening. When we're recording this, it's the day of Monday Night Raw. So that match is happening tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty excited about it. Drew McIntyre. I'll just say this now. Then we had an interview. This was after the Drew promo. Adam Pearce got interviewed, and he made a last monster stand-in match between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, which I'm really excited about. I think that's going to be a hell of a match. I think that's main event, and if they do the win break, so that or something. I think that might main event. And then they did like a little commercial for it later on, where they treated it like it was Godzilla versus King Kong, which kind of makes a lot of sense. Which is kind of weird because I don't think that movie's coming out that I know of, so it's kind of weird that they're doing that, but whatever. And then during all of this, we hear commotion going on backstage, and we see that Pete Dunne has taken out Sheamus and destroyed him with a cricket bat. And just absolutely destroyed Sheamus. I love this because Adam Pearce is trying to yell at Sheamus to like stop, and not Sheamus, Pete Dunne to like stop, and he like wouldn't. So I thought that was funny. Like he just kept going and just wouldn't stop. I like this though. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. Again, it furthers the feud. Yeah, it was good.
I like how I said he's trying to yell at Sheamus. Just like what is Sheamus supposed to stop doing? Stop getting beaten up? Like he's yelling at Sheamus. He's yelling at Sheamus, not Pete Dunne.
Hey, Sheamus, stop selling.
But yeah, then we had the next bit. Drew McIntyre comes out to cut his promo. This was before the Adam Pearce segment, and this was a really good promo by Drew. He kind of cuts a promo talking about how he was told to stay home last week, and he did, and he stayed home and he saw the CM Punk that he always wanted to see in WWE, the desperate man, and the serious Punk that wants to hurt people. And he said that CM Punk calls himself the devil, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. He talks about how his wife and his family's been trying to talk him out of doing this cell match, but that's not going to happen. And he says that that they're going to do this cell match, and someone's not going to make it out of that cell match alive. So, really good promo here by Drew. I don't think it was as good as the Punk promo that he cut a couple weeks ago, but this was still a good promo here. Obviously, they've kind of cooled this feud off a little bit because obviously they don't want to blow the wad again because it's kind of coming to the end of the feud. So I imagine this week, tonight, whenever you see this last night, they're gonna do like the big go home angle with this feud. I think they kind of tried to cool it off because they kind of got into like a lot of brawls and stuff lately. But I'm still enjoying this feud. Still enjoying this. I thought this was good stuff, and Drew cut a really good promo here. So what'd you think of this?
I liked it a lot. I give it a big thumbs up. I really liked it a lot.
Then we had the Unholy Union versus the Sky Pirates. Before the match, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are backstage. They come up to the Sky Pirates and they talk about, how, Io Sky got the better of her last week, but it was still a competitive match. But the Sky Pirates says that they want the women's tag titles, and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill say that that's not going to happen. You say you're not going to catch her slipping twice, and they also want revenge because Kairi Sane is still injured. From when Jade Cargill punched her a few weeks ago, which I think is a legit injury. Maybe not as bad as they're saying that it is, but probably still probably decently bad. And then we had the actual match. It was good stuff. Nobody really cared about the Unholy Union. They didn't get much of a reaction, but this match was still good. And eventually, the Sky Pirates win when Io Sky hits a moonsault, I think, on Alba Fire for the win. And at the same time, when Kairi Sane did, like, the elbow drop to the outside. It was kind of predictable the Sky Pirates were going to win. I like that they redid the same finish they did a few weeks ago, where, when the Unholy Union faced them the first time and they did the finish where it looked like they were going to lose again. I thought that was a nice little callback, but other than that, this was fine. I think the Unholy Union, this is kind of proof that I don't think they were meant to win the tag titles, like Triple H said, like a few, at Clash of the Castle, because they're kind of right back to where they were before they won them. But this match was still good. I give it like 3 stars. What do you think of this?
I give it 3 stars too. It's just, they don't do anything for me.
The Unholy Union or just any of this stuff?
The Unholy Union.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's like you said, it's not like they were definitely not meant to win it. And it was only a sympathy thing, and it was only because they were in the UK. That's the only reason why I won it.
Yeah. I imagine we're gonna get a future women's tag title match. They're probably gonna do that maybe at either Crown Jewel or on a Raw, between Bianca and Jade versus the Sky Pirates, which I'm pretty into. They might do something at Bad Blood because Bianca and Jade are going to be at Bad Blood, just not in a wrestling capacity, which we'll get to later on. But overall, I'm pretty into it. What do you think's coming out of this, like, women's tag title stuff?
I don't know. Like, it's all very. It's all very like. It's not that interesting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a big clusterfuck right now. There's only fucking 3 teams.
Exactly.
Because the other ones don't fucking matter. The Pure Fusion Collective and any of the fucking team none of them matter. It's just like it's the same 3 teams, and no one cares.
I think doing all this, I didn't write this in my notes because I didn't know it was part of Raw. There was a symbol that came up where there was like fire, like in a circle, and it said like PFR or something like that. Don't know what that's about. It's clearly setting up something. Someone's gonna come back or something like that. I'm not really sure. I thought it had to do with the Wyatt Six, so I was gonna talk about it then. But the Wyatt Six stuff looked different than this, so I'm not really sure what this is about. And I'm pretty interested in it to kind of see what happens with it. It's I don't know who it's setting up to come back, but like whoever it is, I'm pretty interested in it. Hopefully, whoever comes back is cool. But I'm not sure. I thought it was Wyatt Six stuff related, but apparently it wasn't. So, what do you think? Do you know what I'm talking about? You saw like a symbol.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
You wanted to say what it is, or do you want to? Are you gonna leave me surprised?
Do you want to know?
No, why not? Why not?
It's the Viking Raiders.
Oh, I'm pretty into that actually. Then.
And they're going to be the War Raiders again.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't know if it means going back to Hanson and Rowe or keeping Ivar and Eric, but it's the Viking Raiders, War Raiders. They're coming back.
So what was the letters had to do with it? Because wasn't it PFO? Or was it? Did I misread the letters? Maybe I misread.
You might have. Yeah, but it's supposed to be for the War Raiders.
Is it just going to be the War Raiders, or like with Sarah Logan /
I think it's going to be her too. But from what I read, it's just going to be the War Raiders. So I think she's included in that.
That's cool. I wonder if like I wouldn't mind if they kept the Viking gimmick though, and like they just went back to the War Raiders. I was pretty into the Viking like gimmick.
Yeah, I mean the gimmick stuff was fine. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they went back with just Hanson and Rowe again.
Yeah.
And just kept the Viking gimmick and just used their names that they've been using.
Yeah, I would like that. I wouldn't mind. Well, I like them to go back in Hanson and Rowe because I'm not into the names that they have, before with Ivo and Eric. I guess I didn't mind Eric too much because that's like a Viking name, but Ivo was a bad name. He should go back.
Ivor.
Then
He's
again,
an ivory.
if one gets their name back, I think they should probably both get their name back. They probably make them can't really have one of them get their name back and not the other.
One of them gets it back, and it's gonna be grow in Ivar
Yeah, that's so you can't really.
or Hanson and Eric.
I don't know. I kind of like Hanson.
That sounds like a bad band name.
I think they should just do it. They should give Hanson his name back and not Eric. That'd be awesome. I kind of hope they go to. I kind of hope Hanson though kind of goes to NXT because he's got some unfinished business there since he was taken out by like Gallus and all that type of stuff. I kind of hope they kind of go back and like do a match there with them versus Gallus. I think that would be kind of cool. Would you like that, or would you think they should just kind of leave that as it is?
I think they're gonna leave it as it is and just kind of move on with it and just go back to and just have them go back to the main roster again.
But yeah, then we had Braun Breaker get interviewed, and he talked about how no one's gonna take this Intercontinental Championship from him. He mentions that his family had made a name for themselves, beating up Jay's families in the past, and he said that it's gonna continue. And he said that Jay's dreams of holding singles gold, it might come years down the line, but it's not gonna be tonight. And then at the end, Jay does an interview. Well, Jay's just backstage, and Sami Zayn comes up to him, and he's giving him a motivational speech, and it says, like, you've been wanting this for years, and says that, Braun Breaker's a different animal, so, go for it, and stuff like that. And, they kind of give, like, a nice little handshake with each other and stuff like that, so that was good. I like both these segments. I like the Braun one because it was just good stuff. He asked where his dogs were at, and they all barked at him. That was good. So they're good. I wonder if, I hope he doesn't own any dogs or anything like that, because I hope one of those barks could have been his dog, and that would have been good if his dog was there. So that would have been bad.
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. I wonder if he does that at home. Like, where's my dog at? And the dog just barks back at him. Like that's like a new thing that happens. But yeah, I really like the Jay Sammy stint because it makes sense on two reasons. Obviously, because of their relationship back in like the bloodline and everything like that, and the kind of the relationship that they've had ever since Jay's come over to Raw. That's been really good, and it's been really good too because it makes sense because Sami Zayn, was the guy that Braun beat for the belt, so it kind of makes sense that Sami Zayn would give him the speech. So the Sami Jay segment was much better just because of like the connection we have with those characters. So what'd you think of all this stuff? This was all good.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was all really good.
Then we had the New Day versus American Made. This was very good stuff. Very good back and forth match right here. Eventually, Chad Gable keeps interfering in the match. So this kind of causes Xavier Woods to go off on a rage. And he pulls Chad Gable in. He just beats the crap out of him. But this kind of costs Xavier Woods in the end. And this allows American Made to, get the advantage back and hit the cannonball on Woods for the win. Because also, too, I don't think I meant, like, Xavier Woods had the match won right there, too, before he pulled Gable in. Like, they could have won the match right there, but it's just Xavier Woods got too angry. So, I really like this, though. This match was really good. You should definitely go check it out for yourself. I give it, like, 3 3/4 stars. It's a very good match. What do you think of this?
I thought it was very good. I give it 3 1/4 too. That was really good.
Then, I think before this even happened, we had another segment from the Wyatt Six. We didn't get much of it. It was kind of more of like, the vignette, and you could scan the QR code. Even though the QR code came up very fast this time. I went to scan it, and it was already gone. I was like, the hell, I didn't get to scan the thing, but whatever. I think, they're not really going to do much for a little bit. They're kind of waiting for the next team to feud with, which I don't know who that will be. But I'm kind of cool. They have to come back soon, though. I don't think they can sit around for too long, but I think they should come back, like, soon. Maybe after, like, Bad Blood, they should come back. But what do you think of this?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Then we had kind of a bad vignette, which was with the Pure Fusing Collective. They kind of talked about, like, how all the reasons that tag teams are together is they'll lose as singles, so they try to get together, and are still losers, but they get together and they're dominant. Which kind of didn't really work because, like, the whole reason they even joined up together was because Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler were down on the luck, so that didn't really make sense. And they basically tell Sonya Deville's been trying to get this catchphrase over recently, where it says like, "You want to step to us, shoot your shot, you'll just fail," even though that's really not true. Because I think the last like 4 times they've wrestled, they've like lost. So I'm not in that. I'm not that into this faction. I'm kind of starting to lose interest in it. It just kind of feels like they don't have anything for these wrestlers to do, so they're just throwing them together. And I'm really not that into this faction. Plus, too, they need heels, and this is just it. But what do you think of this?
I don't care. It's awful. It's a terrible faction. From the beginning, I thought this was going to suck, and it did.
Yeah, so it's just kind of whatever.
And the name's even worse.
Yeah, it is, definitely. I will say that's one thing we've kind of gotten in the Triple H era. Most of the names that they come up with their groups kind of suck. Like American Maid's not the best gimmick, not the best name. Pure Fusion Collective, and then there's another name that's been pretty bad. I guess the Pride was a pretty bad one. That wasn't a great one either. Which is kind of weird. I don't even think Triple H even came up with that name. Everyone started saying that, they just ran with it, and then Bobby Lashley ran away. So you know. Then, it shows that advertisement I talked about with the last Monster Stand-in ad. Then the New Day's backstage, and Xavier Woods is pissed at himself that he let his emotions get the best of him. And the LWO come up, and Rey Mysterio, on behalf of the LWO, apologizes to the New Day that they cost them the tag team titles. But Xavier Woods doesn't really take the apology all that well. And during all of this, Rey Mysterio is just like, okay, you need to figure this out. I'm gonna go deal with my business with Finn Balor. You kind of figure this out. And Xavier Woods takes offense to this because Ray and Kofi will only focus on World Championship things, but he's perfectly capable in the ring by himself. So Rey Mysterio challenges Woods to a match, and Woods accepts. And we also find out later in the show that I think Kofi's going to face Chad on this episode. I really like this, though. I'm liking kind of like the tension with the New Day, and everything like that. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when once that culminates and everything like that. I'm liking this frustration with Woods, where he just can't, he can't seem to get over himself. So what you think of this? I really like this backstage segment here.
I liked it too, but the New Day is gonna break up, and it's gonna be heartbreaking.
I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen like on their 10th year anniversary too. Like they'll get to 10 years, and that'll be when they'll break up. Which I originally wasn't a fan of that, but I think it might be time. Especially too, I feel like this breakup's gonna feel like natural, where like Woods is gonna get it. Like if it happened during that Karrion Kross, then I wouldn't have been into it. But now I'm happy that's happened in a more natural way. I mean, obviously they kind of had to scramble a little bit, obviously, because the stuff with Odyssey Jones happened. I assume like it was supposed to be Kofi just teaming up with Jones, and Woods was left in the dust. But obviously, because Odyssey Jones they don't have anymore, they had to kind of change it. So I'm kind of a fan of this. What do you think? What do you think though? How it's coming together?
It's gonna be interesting. We'll see where they go. From there, again, WWE has a problem where it's like when this stuff does happen, what's after it for Woods? When he does make this turn, what's after for Woods and what's after for Kofi?
Yeah, I think that was. I'm interested to see what happens with it. I have seen people reading online. I think you're gonna want to hear about this. That they'll all blame. They're saying this is Ray's fault, and Ray might not be as good of a person as they say they were. Because it's another person that's gonna turn heel, kind of because Ray's kind of doing this and everything like that. What do you kind of think about that?
The audacity to insult a legend and a great human being and a great father like Rey Mysterio. The fucking audacity is. I don't know where they're coming up with that from. But they need to stop.
I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I mentioned that four people. Well, right now it's 3, but it looks like 4 people could have turned heel because of some type of altercation they've had with Rey Mysterio. So I think that's kind of why they're like stemming Rey. Like they're saying Rey might be the ultimate heel all along, type of thing. You're not buying
That's a funny joke.
I'm just making sure. Again, I don't believe any of this stuff. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, trying to.
Oh, it sounds like you're starting to believe it.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, being a good.
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, be a good journalist, and trying to see both sides of it. I agree with you though. I think it's just more of a coincidence than anything else. I think Ray's just kind of stuck in the middle, but I think everyone else is kind of because they're pointing out other situations and stuff like other turns that's happened, so they're all kind of blaming Ray for it. So it's kind of weird, but we'll see. We'll see. What if he does? What are you gonna do if Ray does turn? Are you still gonna believe it or no, or not believe it anyways?
I'm going to be in disbelief.
But anyhow, then we had the main event, not the show, so you can stay here. It's the Intercontinental Championship match. It's Braun Breaker defended against Jey Uso. This was great. I love this. They had a great match right here. Jey Uso gets the advantage early by using a lot of his high, quick moves and kind of his, some mind games to kind of get into Braun Breaker's head. Then eventually Braun Breaker starts using his power when Jay goes to leap over him. Breaker catches him and does like an amateur takedown, which was really cool. And he starts to really dominate Jey Uso. He hits a really good gorilla press on him. But then eventually Jey Uso starts mounting a comeback. He super kicks him over the announce table. And then he throws him into the steps. Eventually... Jay hits the spear the first time and then the splash, but Braun Breaker kicks out. Braun Breaker hits the spear himself and Jay kicks out. It was a very close near fall. I thought that was going to be it right there. Then eventually Jey Uso hits a spear through the barricade and then puts Braun back in the ring, hits a super kick, and then hits a splash on him for the win. And Jey Uso is now the new Intercontinental Champion. Had a really great celebration afterwards. And I thought this was awesome. A lot of people kind of were mixed on this. Some people love the fact that Jay finally, finished the story and won his first singles title, but a lot of people kind of said this kind of came out of nowhere and this kind of buried Braun a little bit. I personally, how I feel about this is I think this was a great time to do this because I don't really know when else you're going to be able to do this, considering the fact that, this bloodline stuff's about to go down. And if you're going to put a singles title on Jay and have him finish that story, I think now's the time before he kind of really gets into the mix of it. And I think that's going to be awesome. And plus, it'll going to give him more of a reason to be like, no, why should I go team with the bloodline? Like, I'm doing pretty well by myself. So, I think that'd be awesome. Plus, too, I think I think that's good to do this type of stuff because we've had a lot of title reigns recently, and it kind of gets to a point where the person's not going to lose the championship, so this kind of makes it a little unpredictable, showing that not every champion now is going to have a long reign, because we've kind of had that recently with Triple H's booking, and I don't think Braun's going to look weak from this. Either what's going to happen is he's going to get angry and really start to take it to people, but I'm interested. Plus, I think Jay just had to finish that story of winning the singles title, and if it wasn't going to be now, it was never going to happen. So I think that this was a great decision. What'd you think of this overall, and the star rating and everything like that?
I give this match 4.5 stars. I thought this match was great. The ending was phenomenal. Jay winning his first singles title was awesome. The place went alive. It was electric. Loved it. Thought it was amazing. Yeah.
And this opens up a lot of storyline potential because if the bloodline gets involved, they can cost him his first singles title, and that could make him want to actually get involved with that. Because they cost him his first singles title, type of thing. So, because again, like I said, if it's not going to happen, if it wasn't going to be last week, it wasn't going to happen at all. So I'm glad they struck. Plus, I don't think he'll have a long title win. He might just lose the belt right back to Braun or to another heel on the roster. So, we'll see what happens. But overall, that was Raw. I thought Raw was a great show. I'm going to give it a B+. Really great stuff. Just a lot of great stuff. The Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed stuff was fun. Jay getting his first title win was awesome. Drew's promo was awesome. The American-made New Day stuff and the breakup of the New Day was awesome. And I enjoyed the LWO stuff. Probably sounds like an A- show, but I don't think it was quite A-. I was also tired doing the show because this is right after we did that 4-hour rundown thing and stuff. So it's the first time I've watched Raw live too, all 3 hours, because I've been having DVR, so that probably didn't help my experience. So I'm gonna go B plus. What are you gonna give Raw?
I give it a B plus. I thought the show was really good. Sticking points are obviously always still going to be the women. I feel like, but yeah, I thought the show itself was really good.
I'll go through NXT stuff, but before that, I'm going to read the Level Up notes, so it kind of gives you time to get the NXT notes ready, so I'll just kind of do that. Level Up took place on, hold on, it's the same day as SmackDown, September 27th, 2024. We had Blake Howard and Byron Saxton on commentary for this show. The opener was Elia Connors and Kale Dixon versus Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Equi. This is a good match, good back and forth stuff. This is probably the best performance that Kale Dixon and Elia Connors have had together as a tag team. Unfortunately, they didn't win though. They hit like a back suplex neck breaker combination on Elia Connors for the win. They did do a segment later on in the show where they were upset. They're saying that they don't deserve this because they've had, because Kale Dixon's a TV star and Elia Connors is the third generation legend, and all of this stuff is just bad stuff is happening to them. So they need to make a change because whatever they're doing is not working. I feel like one of these times they team together, they're gonna turn on each other. I just don't know when, especially because it's NXT. So if someone's in a tag team, always expect a turn, even if it doesn't make sense. So. Yeah, overall, that was a good match. I thought that was a good little match. And then we had Shannon Stacks Lorenzo versus Jasper Troy. This was good stuff. Shannon Stacks Lorenzo won in a good match. It was 3 stars. I kind of forget a lot of this match. I think I was texting you during this match, so I don't remember of it, but from what I saw of it, the match was good. Then the rest of the show, Sal Ruka and Danny Luna had a segment backstage with each other. And Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner came up. They were kind of arguing with each other. We're probably going to be talking about that throughout the NXT at some point this week. And they basically announced that Sal Ruka and Danny Luna are going to face each other and level up. And in that match, they had a good little match. I feel like it was a little short, but Sal Ruka won with the Soul Snatcher out of nowhere, which was cool. I give it like 3 stars. I thought that was good stuff. Overall, Level Up was solid. I'll give it like a B-. I thought they had some good matches on the show. I think the Sal Ruka Danny Luna match could have gone a little longer. But it's whatever. They'll have a better match on NXT probably, so it's no big deal. So, all right, you want to take us through those NXT notes now? Last NXT episode on USA Network.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, but now you're pulling a Hulk Hogan. Be like, nah, it'll work for me, brother.
Nah, it doesn't work for me, brother. No, but SmackDown. That was the last SmackDown that was in the Performance Center.
Wait, NXT. You said
NXT. Yes, that would have made sense if it was NXT. NXT was the last NXT in the Performance Center before they hit the road in Chicago and St. Louis for their first time traveling, and I can't tell you how long for actual television.
Yeah,
it's been fucking. I don't even know how long.
I think it's been.
Did they ever travel in the black and gold era for television? I forget. It's been so long.
Technically, no, but like if you want to consider those like house shows that they would do, like in Australia or Japan back in like 2016, but then they just add them as like TV specials, you could say yes. But like if you really want to go in, I think the last time they traveled was during the game show era of NXT when it would be taped before SmackDown. Which
because I don't. Yeah, so it's interesting to see them moving on from that sort of Florida system.
Yeah, because they were in Full Sail from like the beginning until late 2020, and then they went to the, what did they call it? It wasn't the Performance Center, but the Capitol Wrestling Center is what they call it. I think it was.
It was the Capitol Wrestling Center. It was a tribute to the old school.
Yeah.
A company that Vince Sr. ran.
So, and they don't call it that. I think they stopped calling it that when, weirdly enough, when Vince took it over and rebranded it 2.0. They haven't called it since then, which is kind of weird. I mean, if you watch the Vince talk with how Vince's relationship with his father was, I guess that makes more sense why that kind of stopped. But, it's kind of weird.
Yes, but it's still the same commentary team. of Vic Joseph, and Booker T. And so you get right into it. You get a women's North American Championship match between Kalani Jordan and Ren Sinclair. And Ren Sinclair had her fellow No Quarter Catch crew members at ringside with her. And it didn't matter anyways because she lost with a heel kick in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
She lost with to Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan hit her split leg of moonsault to retain her NXT North American Championship match. Her North American Championship. The match itself was fine. Pretty good opener. Kalani Jordan. Besides having to talk on the mic, which is brutal. But that's just her being an athlete, not having to talk ever. But yeah, I thought the match itself was good between two people who were really good in the ring, and I liked the match.
I agree. Thought it was good stuff. I give it like 3 stars. Overall, I thought they had like a nice little back and forth match right there. Didn't really help the No Kind of Catch Crew's like stock or anything like that. I kind of thought that made them look bad, but other than that, still good stuff.
Yeah.
I want to. I do want to say this too. I want to know Quarter Catch Crew are gonna travel to how it's gonna work for them traveling. Because if you notice, whoever the Heritage Cup champion, they never travel with the cup because it's probably a pain in the ass. It's probably a pain in the ass to travel with that thing. So I wonder if they're just gonna get rid of the cup, or like they're gonna just change the design of it because and like make it a belt because that's gonna be a pain in the ass to get through like flights and everything like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. With that cup, absolutely.
So if you ever noticed, when Tony D started doing the PLEs again, he lost the cup like right before his match with Oba and everything like that because I don't think he wanted to travel with it and stuff. So
yeah, because you're responsible for it.
Yeah, and it's probably not easy to get that thing like because you can't like you can't. It's not like a belt or the briefcase where you can't pack it like in a suitcase or anything like that. Like I don't know how you get that thing on an airplane.
I don't. It comes in its own little carrier or case or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. Like and you have to declare it ahead of time too.
Yeah,
you can't just throw that with your luggage.
Right.
You got to carry. It's almost like a check bag in a way.
Yeah, because the briefcase you can kind of use that as a suitcase. You can't really do that with the cup. So
you can't. It's tough to. It's so tough to like take that from like city to city with you. So I wonder if it's just like when they defend it, like on the road, that's when they might bring it with them. I don't think they'll bring it with them like every week.
Yeah,
unless if the crew brings it.
Well, like they could ship it to like wherever the title defense is. They could just ship it.
Yeah, they could just ship it there. That would be a lot easier. But or it might go with the ring crew.
Yeah, that might be what it is.
Like if they're a crew that drives from city to city, it might go with them.
Or maybe they'll just turn it into a belt, so that way it's easy to travel. So,
I mean, yeah, if they change it, if they put it into a belt, that would be obviously a lot easier. But like at that point, it's not a cup. It'd be like it would be a fucking championship. So it kind of ruins the point. But
right.
But it's just a big bulky thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But so then they hype up the CW for their debut next week, and then Ethan Page has a press conference, and he says that Pressure is being the NXT champion, being the face of the NXT brand, which he is now, considering that he never was before in his former employment and with his former employer.
Yeah.
And he puts over Trick big time, and then when he's asked about CM Punk, he said he's not going to be a factor at all. He's not going to factor in. And then they show A-Town, Down Under, walking backstage afterwards to show that they're there.
But yeah, I liked the media. Oh,
it was a fun segment.
Yeah.
You know, I like Ethan Page putting over his opponent, and I like the fact that they kind of put Punk into it. Again, they pulled Punk back into it.
Yeah, I liked the media stuff showing how they were advertising NXT Go to CW. Because they did a lot of media stuff like last week and stuff. I think news sites covered it and stuff like that. And And then I like the Ethan Page press conference. I did notice something with these press conference. They never got past like 3 questions. Whoever did the press, except Trick, I think he's the only one. But whoever did the press conferences, they always stop. They always cut him off at like the 3rd question. They just didn't want to do the press conference anymore. And then
That's done with it. Fuck you, I'm done.
And then I noticed like Eddie press conference, like because they show Kalani Jordan doing it later on. I think she actually answered 4 questions, and I didn't think it was. What I think was funny is they never showed like anyone in the media. Like you never saw their faces or anything. Because later on they do the thing in the ring with Roxanne and Julia, and you never saw like who the media even like was. It was just like random people.
It was just media.
Yeah, they never said who they were. But I thought it was funny. Like every time anytime it was shown on TV, anytime it got past the 3rd question, it's like, yeah, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We're done.
We got to move on with the show, guys. Hurry up.
That was awesome.
But yeah, that's. And then they go to commercial break and they come back and CM Punk approaches Javon Evans and Trick Williams, and he wants to have a private conversation with Trick Williams. And this is a common theme throughout the night with Punk. I'm just gonna say this now, and I'm. When it comes to skip over the Ethan Page one, but Punk basically goes up to both of them and says that it's going to be a fair match. It's right down the middle.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be a distraction, so it's just going to be you two, and I'm going to count the 1, 2, 3. And he said to Trick, because she pulled Trick aside first, he said that he's not going to pull any favors just because he likes Trick, and he wants Trick to win. Doesn't mean that he's going to pull favors. He's not going to help him win. He's going to call right down the middle, which I appreciate that. But yeah, it's I like the segment. I like both the segments. Basically saying that like Punk is going to be a fair and impartial referee.
I liked the Ethan one more because they made a lot of references to like their time in AEW since they were kind of both there at the same time. Because it kind of made sense that Ethan Page would be paranoid, because he's come from AEW. You even mentioned like, I know how you were in the past. It kind of makes sense that he would say that because he's got that outside perspective type of thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what Ethan Page is thinking, by the way, when like, when he jumped over and like saw how CM Punk was, he's like, "Whoa, you're nothing like you were in AEW. What happened?" Like, whoa, he probably knows what happened, but he's like,
"You look healthy."
Yeah, but I liked that Ethan Page kind of got that in there. I imagine what's gonna happen, since we're not gonna talk about it anymore, is I feel like Punk will call it down the middle, but I feel like Drew's gonna come out. They're gonna brawl. Either Drew will just lay him out, or they'll brawl like in the crowd or something to kind of So I imagine they're going to do one. That would be like the last thing Drew and Punk will do. And like, that would kind of cause either Ethan to cheat or something. And then like another referee would come out and just make the count or something. So
like a pull apart between him and Drew.
Yeah.
Because again, like neither of them should really get the upper hand. Right. So it's like you have them like do a pull apart, and then another referee comes out and counts Ethan for the win or something like that. Like something similar. Or Trick, yeah.
Oh, I feel like if Trick's winning, Punk will make the count, though.
Yeah, because that's the big babyface moment on the first episode.
Yeah.
So then we go to Grayson Waller and the Grayson Waller effect with Austin Theory. This was interesting because they did a lot of teasing again.
Yes, they did.
On this episode of the Grayson Waller effect. They introduce Axiom and Nathan Frazier, Praxium as he called them, as Grayson Waller called them.
I wonder if that's gonna stick.
I actually kind of like that as a team name, Fraxium.
Yeah.
They come out and they basically say like they're the Grim Reapers of the tag team division, and you could see immediately. Austin Theory kind of looked at each other, and it was like, man, they keep teasing this. Like they need to fucking stop teasing it and pull the fucking Theory phase 10 already.
I'm ready for it.
I've been ready for it for a long time. It's been way too long. They fired back, and saying that they've competed on the bigger stages. And that they were the ones to bring down the tag team titles at WrestleMania, and whatnot. And but yeah, I thought overall this segment was a very, very good segment. That's the last Grayson Waller effect in the PC.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the segment overall was really good. It led to a lot of different things happening and a lot of different and a lot of different ideas being thrown around, because I think they end up getting a tag team title shot, I think, too, also.
Well, they
in
already
that-
had
in
it,
that
but
segment.
they built it. They built up to it.
Yeah,
more.
they built it up. That's what it was. And it's going to be a really good match, and I feel like that's where the turn is going to happen.
What I really liked about this too was right when Theory got pissed at him, because Nathan Frazier mentioned why is this the Grayson Waller effect and not the Grayson and Austin Theory Waller effect or whatever he said. And Austin Theory finally kind of realized yeah, why isn't this called? Why is this just the Grayson Waller effect? And when Austin Theory was finally getting pissed at him, that's when Grayson Waller finally took the cheap shot to kind of get Austin Theory kind of off his case and everything like that. So I liked how they I thought the cheap shot was very well timed.
Yes, it was. It's going to be interesting. That match is going to be really good, but I feel like they have held off on the turn for a long time, and I feel like you could get Austin Theory over as a big time babyface.
Definitely, yeah.
It's and I think now's the time, and I think they've waited a bit too long, but I feel like now's the time now.
Definitely.
They've been planting seeds for months and months. They need to fucking pull the trigger.
I agree. I really want to see it. Were you watching an Instagram Live, by the way? Because the Grayson Waller was live on Instagram Live. I want to know if you went on there.
I didn't see it. I wish I had. I didn't. I missed it.
I wonder if it was off.
I'm usually on there too.
I wonder if it was off. Remember, it would always be off. It would be way off. I think. I feel like one would play. I think it was the Instagram Live would play first, and then it would be.
Yeah, the Instagram Live was ahead of the TV feed.
It was a good 2 minutes.
Always. By a good minute or two.
Yeah. So.
Because I would see it, I'd be watching it on especially one with Apollo where Grayson Waller got knocked out. You can see it happening on Instagram Live, and I'm up here it comes right now. I'm seeing it right now.
Yep. Yeah, let's continue.
Then they cut to footage of Brian Pillman Jr. backstage.
No, hey.
With Metaphor.
Hey.
And
hey.
he
wait. No, yo.
And he goes
No. Hold on, what's his name? If I have to say
starts talking to him.
Wait a minute.
Or
if I have to say Gunther, you have to say his name. That's
it's his name, Brian Pillman Jr.
No.
No.
What's his name? What's his actual name? Come on. If I have to say Gunther and all these other names.
Brian Pillman Jr.
Then you have to let one. You have to let. Come on. I've been having to say Gunther and all this other stuff. You have to let one of mine. You have to let one of mine slide. If I have to let one of these slide. What's his actual name?
It says right there. It says Brian Pillman Jr.
That's not his name in WWE though. You know what his name. Come on, we're not moving on.
I like this gang.
I actually break down. You can actually break down the segment now. I don't think the fans probably heard you because I was talking over you. So you could actually break down the segment, but don't let that happen again because.
BPJ Lexus King decided that he wanted to go backstage and talk to Oro Mensah. And he did, and he said he was going to offer him a handshake and said the best man wins. And they did shake hands after Oro Mensah pulled him in and said that just make sure that your dad is proud. And I thought it was a very interesting segment because I don't know which direction they were going in, especially after the match. It just seemed very odd.
Right.
I don't know if they're trying to turn Lexus King into a face. I don't know. He doesn't look like it. Today, he had a really very interesting hair fucking cut situation going on.
Right.
Where he just looks like a super villain out of a really, really bad, cheesy Z-level movie.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with this. Pretty interested, I guess. But overall, I thought this was good stuff. Well, not good. It was like fine. It was kind of whatever. I feel like it will kind of get more interesting once we kind of talk about like their match.
Yeah, it gets more interesting when we get there. But and then Hank and Tank do a walk and talk. Like they put over the Good Brothers, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Then they go to break and they come back, and then Ashante the Adonis randomly in the women's lounge, I guess. He's just allowed to be a pervert, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
and go in there. And I think he went over to Brindley Reese and whatever else. I think it was whoever else was there. And Brindley Reese was telling him to get out of there. He didn't belong in there, and like he was just being really sleazy. Ashante was, and then he goes over to Tatum Paxley, and he calls her a freak, and she goes, "Well, I'm taken," and it's true because she's got married recently too, within the last 2 days to Javier Bernal. So
yeah, what if he'll come back and like defend Orlando if that's just never gonna happen?
I know he's just gonna be he's gonna be right on the circuit. And after he says he's a little freaky too, which was actually kind of funny.
It was.
I thought that was the funniest part of the whole segment. It was pretty good. It was it's been the typical Ashante segment where he's just trying to hit on every fucking female known to mankind.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I don't mind it. It's so funny how they went from having Ashante the Adonis teaming up and being in a serious angle with Cedric Alexander, and all of a sudden now he's a pervert.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, the thing I did notice too was Carmen Petrovich didn't look very happy that.
That's who it was. I was trying to think of who else was in the segment.
Yeah, she didn't look very happy that like she didn't get a rose or something, because she was like wondering why like that other girl got a rose like before he even came in, and then like, yeah, just kind of.
It's just and I'm gonna when that I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. I can't wait.
But Ashante's gimmick just kind of like seems a bit dated too. It seems a bit outdated. I don't think that should be happening.
He's basically a player.
Yeah.
Almost like in a way, almost like a pimp in a way.
Right. And it looks like
it's just really like a playboy kind of gimmick. Like it's just like something that would happen like 20, 25 years ago.
I know. Well, Shawn Michaels is the one booking the show, so it's like,
No wonder why. Mr. Boytold.
Yeah. It looks like maybe he's been successful though. He's finally wowed a woman, but you'll get to that later. Yes, you will.
Oh, it gets worse. So the Good Brothers do their circa 2016 promo, where they call Hank and Tank nerds.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they lose. So, for some reason. And again, I just don't understand. I get they're at their stage now where they're probably just trying to put over teams. And they could stay in Florida and be near their, be at home and be at home and whatnot. But it's just like, like, for me, it's so frustrating because they definitely should have won by now. I don't think they won a match. Like, I literally don't think they've won a match in NXT since I think they had that 6-man with Cameron Grimes.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Because Cameron Grimes hasn't been in NXT in like years.
That's my thought. Like, I don't think they've won a match in like forever in NXT.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I did like the match this time around better. I actually starting to kind of like Hank and Tank. I don't like them in the ring, but they're pretty entertaining, like on the mic. I've watched like
it's almost like Otis and Tucker.
Yeah. But yeah, what's kind of going on with the Good Brothers is a little ridiculous. I think it's also one of those things where like I know they want to put over teams, but it's kind of getting to be like the Chris Jericho problem where now they lose so much. And I would even say the John Cena problem, like in the later stage of his career, where they lose so much, it's not going to matter anymore when they keep putting people over. Like they have to win themselves. Like that's why, that's why Chris Jericho didn't feel special anymore in WWE because he kept losing. to the point where
Yep.
like he had to go he had to go to a new company and invent himself, and now he wins too much. So you know,
That was the problem.
but so that's kind of what's going on with the Good Brothers. I think they're being too unselfish and putting over too many teams. And also, what's worse too is when they win, they don't look dominant when they win either. They're also giving too much offense on the other teams and all that type of stuff. Like but it's kind of like whatever. I still gave the match like 3 stars. It's still good enough, but yeah, the Good Brothers losing again kind of pissed me off. I hope they don't. I feel like now it's gonna be tough to take them seriously, because it was one thing to lose to them once. Now that they kind of lost to them twice, I don't think we can really take them seriously as a top tag team anymore.
If they exactly, I can't. I don't think we can at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's kind of sad too. But at the same time, I think their in-ring careers are kind of winding down. For the both of them. So, and I think they're still valuable. They're still valuable in terms of what they can do backstage.
Yeah, definitely.
They're incredibly valuable at that in that juncture, producing or helping train or something like that. I think they could be a mega asset in that way. But,
I agree. I feel like they missed
but
the
then
boat to not having them feud with God when they came in, because that would have made sense since they were in the club together.
that would have carried over.
Yeah.
That was the first time Triple H let fucking talent that he signed go and finish their commitments.
It was, yeah.
And so then they go to backstage, and it's Siobhan Evans and Cedric Alexander, and they're talking about their match and freaking out about it over against Randy Orton in 2 weeks in Randy Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. Because it's Randy Orton versus Siobhan Evans, and that match is gonna fucking rule.
It will, yeah.
That match is fucking be amazing.
I agree.
And then A-Town Down Under rolls up, and they start mocking Cedric, and I don't know where they go. Oh my god, that's Kevin Owens! And then A-Town Down Under freak out, and they turn around and look to see if Kevin Owens is there, and but he wasn't. It was really funny. And then Javon and Cedric start laughing as they walk away. Like that was I really do like that segment. The fact that they're still afraid of Kevin Owens makes me laugh.
Yeah, that was good. Javon was very good here too. He's starting to really get over as a character. He's showing that he's that he's more than just the flips and fists. Well, no, the flips and dupes or whatever they call that. He's
Flips and dips.
Yeah, but he's doing really good in like the character work. He's getting better and better on the mic every week.
He really is. I really am impressed with him. So we go to commercial break as Alexis King is coming back.
That's right.
As we go to commercial break,
Right.
and then as Alexis King makes his entrance, and now it's Alexis King versus Oro Mensah. And this match is very confusing because at times Alexis King was the face, and at times Oro Mensah was the heel. It was very bizarre. And Oro Mensah gets the victory. But he put his feet on the ropes, which is bizarre because I think they're going to do a double turn, I think.
Yeah, because earlier in the match, Lexus King did the same thing, but he took his feet off the ropes. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Kind of confusing because I feel like Oro Mensah's doing pretty well as a babyface. I don't know why they would turn him. I understand if they want to turn Lexus King, but it's like, I don't know. They should have just found another heel for him to go against, because I don't think Oro Mensah should go back to being a heel. I think he's doing pretty well as a babyface, and I don't know why Sean wants to turn him back again. So
it seems very odd to me. Like I think it would work better if they kind of went maybe with Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah, because Eddie Thorpe
turned Eddie Thorpe heel.
Yeah,
and then kind of played on that. Like, but that probably would have made sense. Or anyone else.
Right.
Or if they wanted to have Lexus King go up against Obafemi. Because Obafemi's not really a face.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it just seems very. It
Yeah.
seemed very odd, and Oro Mensa's beginning over with the PC crowd and everything. He was just over it, and it just seems very weird. I don't know if they're going through with that turn, double turn, but it kind of looks like it because at the end, like Lexus King was kind of confused.
Right. Or they're gonna really swerve us and have Lexus Kin just like that was like a manipulation from Lexus Kin type of thing. That he's just gonna stay heel and or Mensa will stay face. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if they do that, then that's even confusing. Again, this is kind of one of those.
because they had that interaction where it was like Lexus King was kind of a face, and like
Or Mensa was kind of
Oro was kind of the heel in that segment a little
Yeah.
bit, and then in the match, like Lexus King like was going to use the ropes but didn't, and then Oro uses the ropes for the victory. But like it just seemed very. It kind of threw me off.
What I think is funny every time though is every time Lexus Kin's on TV, Booker T just goes out of his way to put him over. He's like, "My man, the TV Kin," and like him and Vic's back and forth, and that's just hilarious. Anytime Lexus Kin has a match, Booker T just goes out of his way to put him over, and like in a comedic way, which is just awesome. I think that's awesome.
TV King, baby.
So I wonder if that was.
I just don't know how the chair gimmick and the entrance would work as a babyface. To be honest with you,
Yeah, maybe he'll just stop that. Hey, maybe
I think he would go back to using go back to using Brian Pillman Jr. again.
I think you just want that to happen because you just don't want to say Lexus Kin anymore. Like you want to get out of that.
I just think it's the right thing to do. And I just think it's the right thing to do. He's a good boy.
Yeah,
He should just go back.
I know because I feel like I feel like him as a heel. I mean, it could have worked. Then Sean just kind of fucked. I feel like maybe Sean's trying to rewrite rewrite him because he kind of fucked him up a little bit. As we talked about.
Yeah, I think something like I would think so.
But yeah, we didn't do the star ratings. For this match, I gave it like 3 stars, and then for the Hank and Tank versus Good Brothers match, I gave that 3 stars. Do you agree with that, or do you think they should be lower?
Yes. I agree with that.
Okay.
So next we have they go to commercial break and they come back and it's a D'Angelo family training vignette. As they try to, whip him into shape to face Obafemi. And, Oba's going to win, so I really don't care. It'd be shocking if Oba lost.
Yeah.
I just don't care about Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing makes me care about him.
I agree. A lot of. I am a little fearful because they're doing like usually when wrestling does these road to redemption type of storylines, usually the face wins, and I feel like it's gonna happen in episode 2, so they're gonna want to do something big in episode 2. I kind of hope that Oba still wins because he should really stay champion. The only reason I'd be okay with him losing is if he goes to the main event NXT title slot and Trick wins, but then like I feel like Oba should stay undefeated and do the whole thing that Keith Lee did, where he just wins both belts and vacates one of them, type of thing. I don't think he can lose.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, so I don't think or do what Samoa Joe did with the ROH TV title, and he retained and then vacated it. That was kind of even stupid when Samoa Joe did. I'd rather him just like they do the title for title thing with Trick versus Oba, because that's coming up at Halloween Havoc, but. Yeah, I don't know what they can do with Tony D's character. He might just need to completely mix up his character because it seems like the family is just getting, maybe they're going to... I feel like it depends on the reaction that it gets to when it goes to outside the PC, because we haven't really seen it much outside the PC, so maybe they're going to experiment with it. But we'll see what happens. I'm not really... Also, it just felt like, it was a lot of the traditional... Mafia, Rocky Balboa, training things that we always see when they do these type of segments. So I kind of wasn't that into it.
Yeah, I wasn't either. I didn't really care. And then next we have Ridge Holland versus Riley Osborne. This is Riley Osborne does the typical babyface starts out hot, does all sorts of flipsy-dipsy-doos, which were good. I like them. But then Ridge Holland takes control of the match, and, Riley Osborne fights back a few times, but Ridge Holland ends up winning with the capture DDT. And then post-match, he beats the crap out of Riley Osborne again, but Thea Hale was screaming at him the whole time. But the distraction was enough for Riley Osborne to take advantage and knock Ridge to the outside, and Ridge powered it out and went away. I thought the match itself was fine. Riley Osborne looks really good.
Yeah.
Ridge is Ridge at this point. There's not much more he can fucking do to make himself look impressive. He just looks the same all the time. I just think he is what he is, and no matter what they try to do, which is he's going to be the same.
They did show. I don't think it was this week. I think it was this week or a couple of weeks ago. One of the weeks, Ridge Holland walked backstage. It showed Shawn Spears walking in the background. So maybe like Shawn Spears got to him because that was like who Shawn Spears feuded with first. So maybe he's gonna join like Shawn Spears and whatever Brooks Jensen's got going on. And then, but yeah, overall I liked this. I thought this was a good 3-star match. And I like that Riley Osborne fought him off. I imagine maybe week 2 in Minnesota, they're going to do like a street fight or something, or some type of stipulation match. Maybe not a street fight, because we're going to get one next week. I don't think we need one 2 weeks in a row, but some type of stipulation match. Because obviously the biggest thing I think they're setting up is for Andre Chase to come back and get like a big babyface reaction and take him out, which is kind of weird, because you would think he's like the weakest one of the whole group. So it's kind of weird he's going to get the big comeback and everything like that.
Yeah.
I would do that obviously in Charlotte, that's kind of where that group is supposedly from.
It's where Andre Chase is from.
Okay. So I'd like to see that. Then again, I'm afraid if that does happen, Sean will because that's kind of what got Sean angry to begin with about his dead set to break up Chase U, is because he got so over there, and that's why he's been trying to break it up ever since. One thing I did think was funny is while the referees were holding him back, Thea Hale was like breaking through the referees and like cursing out like Ridge Holland, which was hilarious. I thought that was really funny. Like it was awesome.
Yes. So the Miz cuts a promo on social media saying that he'll be there next week for a Miz TV with Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo. So before their big match, he said they're gonna have a Miz TV segment with them, which it could be interesting.
Yeah,
but I just don't care. Miz TV's gonna be good though. I don't think it's not. I think it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be like the first time too that Oba Femi has like shared the ring with like a veteran like the Miz. He hasn't really shared the ring with like a big veteran yet, so this would be interesting.
Yeah. Then they show that Wesley and Zach Wentz were getting mic'd up backstage for the interview that they had, the side-by-side interview. And they go back for a commercial break, and Oba Femi's now has his chance now at the press conference. When they asked him about Tony D'Angelo's his training vignette, and he didn't care. He said that he can fool his family, but not him.
Yeah,
and he sees it in his eyes, and that he's broken. And he was done, and then Oba was done answering questions after that. I liked it. It came off like almost Tony D was like trying to do everything he can to get himself mentally prepared for this match and psych himself up, but from Oba's point of view, it looks like he sees that he's like almost wounded in a way. He's like a wounded animal.
This is the one where I laughed. When because Oba pretty much just says when someone went to ask a question, he's just like, all right, I'm done. Like he wasn't interested anymore. Like he's like, yeah, this is.
I answered the one question. Here you go.
I don't even think he got through like 2 questions. I think it was just one question, and then like it's just like, okay, it's like Sean told him you gotta do this press conferences, and then Oba's just like, all right, and then he just answered one question. It's just like, okay, Sean, I did what I was supposed to do. I did my press conference now. Like I answered one question. I answered one question. But I really like this. Oba looked calculated. He looked focused, and And again, he just didn't want to be there because after one question, he was done. Like, yeah, it's like they were kind of wasting his time. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it's like hey, you're kind of wasting my time here. I gotta go.
So yeah,
I gotta go train.
for 1 week, the whole time.
And then commentary tosses it to Zach Wentz, and Wesley. Not Zach Lee. That'd be the both of them combined.
Like I did with Briggs and Jensen.
The Briggs and Jensen, baby. Those Brooks and Jensen.
No, but I said Briggs Jensen earlier. I don't know if you caught that. So
I didn't catch it. So they toss it to Zach Wentz and Wes Lee. And right out of the gate, this felt like their best sort of back and forth that they've had.
Yeah, definitely.
It felt more natural, and they were swearing up a storm, which made it even funnier. Just right out of the gate too, just dropping fucking F-bombs and everything. That was awesome. And they were bleeping it out. Of course, you couldn't hear where they were saying. But then it gets like really intense. And Wesley brings up that he doesn't want Gigi watching it next week. And that's when Zach Wentz goes berserk. And he's like, don't mention my fiance ever again. Keep her name out of your mouth. And Wes is all cocky and shit because he thinks Zach's not going to come after him. After Zach threatened he was going to beat the shit out of him right then and there. He was going to go find him and beat him up. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. And he continues talking, Wes, and as Zach is leaving to go find him, and they have a little bit of a pull apart. I didn't think that we were going to get a pull apart, but we actually got a pull apart. It was actually fairly good. Yeah, I overall, this segment I thought was the best segment. I still fucking hate the fact they broke up MSK / the Rascals. I still fucking hate that a lot. But I felt like overall, as like a segment, this was the best one that they've done to date.
Yeah, this was really good. It took place during the commercial break too, which was pretty cool. Like they said, this happened during the break. Like they couldn't even do like the interviews that they were gonna do. So this was good. I really liked this. And I loved the back and forth that they were having. I thought that was really good.
It was. I mean, the match itself is going to be awesome, just like the No Mercy match was. I just don't like the fact that they broke them up, and the fact they broke them up very quickly.
Yeah, I imagine this would be Zach Wentz's last match, like in the crossover. Like he'll probably get written off here, and we won't see him in NXT either. Unless
I would think so because it's a specialty match.
Yeah, like they'll probably do somewhere because I think West is gonna win this time, and he'll do some like catastrophic towards him, which would be kind of weird because they don't be on the TNA tape. It's like the next couple of weeks, so it's like they're not really gonna sell the movies all that much. So it's gonna be kind of weird.
But I think it's gonna be writing him off for a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna be writing him off for a while. I think he'll be back.
Yeah.
In the future, I just think that they want to like let Wes do other things for a little while, and then come back with the another feud between them, or even have like Trey Miguel do it.
Yeah, that'd be
that would be interesting too, because I think because he turned on him too. So I mean that makes sense if they want to like write off Zach Wentz, and then when Trey Miguel's healed, because they did that attack backstage in the parking lot of wherever they were.
Right.
The gym that they always frequented. But yeah, like that's. I mean, I hated the fact, and I still hate the fact they broke up MSK, the MSK portion of the Rascals. But yeah, it's. I mean, this is the best segment to date, and I feel like and again, like I said, I think the match is going to be fucking awesome.
Oh, it absolutely will be. Absolutely will be.
And then they went to the commentary team, and Vic Joseph and was apologizing for the language, but he was agreeing with Zach Wentz and what he had to say. But he's very much apologetic for the language that they were saying, and they cut right to like a memorable moments package, a sort of tribute to NXT on USA, and it was a very damn good promo video package that had a lot of, you would have guessed it, Undisputed Era in it.
Yeah, because they were a big part of it in the beginning. So
They were the faces of the brand. A lot of Undisputed Era. Keith Lee was in there.
Yep.
It was a bunch of AEW talent that were in there.
Yeah.
You can't really, you can't ignore it.
I have noticed that a lot.
Undisputed Era
Yeah.
/ Undisputed Kingdom, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, was such a huge part of NXT for like 5 years, 6 years, maybe even 7.
Especially that beginning stages, like on the USA Network type of thing. Like,
yeah, I think it was they all Ricochet, Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
I think they all came in at the same time. I think they all came in like 2017.
Yeah, they did.
So 2017, 2018. So they were a huge part, especially the Undisputed Era.
Right.
Were a huge part of NXT moving and getting viewership on USA Network.
Yeah, so you can't ignore it. So
you can't ignore that.
But yeah, I really like this. Also really good, since Triple H took over, that like he will include people that have left and gone to AEW now in the video packages, because some of that stuff you can't ignore and all that type of stuff.
Can't. I mean, they showed Keith Lee with titles. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. But yeah, it was a really good package. I loved it.
I mean, kind of makes you sad though, because like they're not really doing all that talent you just mentioned is not really a big factor in AEW right now, as much as they were in the black and gold era of NXT.
Exactly. That was peak. That was peak Adam Cole.
It was.
He peaked in NXT.
And peak. I mean, to be fair, this was also Keith Lee before he had all those health problems that he had, though. So
yeah,
that's fair. That one's fair, though.
That one is, yeah, that is fair. He dealt with a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years. So then they cut back to the ring, and it's Rosemary and Wendy Chu making their entrance, and they're facing Carmen Petrovic and Brittany Reese. And this match sucked. I mean, Ashante comes out and gives a fan in the front row a rose, and for some unknown fucking reason, Brittany Reese cared.
No, Carmen Petrovic. It was the other way. Carmen Petrovic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the other way. It was like Carmen Petrovic, for some reason, fucking cared. Why do you care what he's doing at ringside? Focus on the fucking match. I thought that was so stupid.
It was insane.
It was like she went out, like Ashante came out and handed the rose, and like Carmen like jumped down off the apron to go confront him. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was odd.
Why did that distract you?
He didn't do anything. He didn't do
anything. Why did that distract you?
You wouldn't have even know. How did you even? You wouldn't even look at it when he went and handed the rose. You didn't even know he was ringside. How did you even know he was ringside?
Your back was turned. You were about to tag into the match. That was so stupid.
I feel like this is gonna lead to a stupid thing where Carmen Petrovic's gonna go heel and join him now, which doesn't even make. It's another woman that Sean's gonna turn heel that doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't, but at the same time, like she like brushed him off in that lounge segment.
Yeah.
And now that's their way of like, oh hey, here's Carmen Petrovic and Ashante. They're gonna be heel duo now.
Which nobody
shut
wants.
the fuck up. Like, no, I'm done. That was stupid. That was so dumb. When that happened, I was like, what are you doing?
I was finally happy, though.
Why do you care?
Yeah, I was finally happy Rosemary and Wendy Chu got a win, though. They haven't really gotten a win since they've formed a unit. I would have liked it if they got, like, a clean win, not this one.
Yeah,
but,
a better win.
Yeah.
Because Carmen Petrovic is actually really good.
Yeah. Not
Carmen
so much.
Petrovic is good, and Brittany Reese isn't bad. So it's like
Yeah,
I felt
she's
like that was
cool.
gonna be like a good tag match, and then it's like you see like within minutes, like Carmen Petrovic is like distracted by someone she couldn't fucking see.
It's another
And
match.
why do you care? Because a fan of Rose in the front row. Are you jealous?
It's another match.
Like,
It's another match that could have been great that Shawn Michaels ruined.
it was just so stupid. And
Yeah.
then she like, and then they hit a move on Brindley recently pin her, and it's like, and Carmen is like nowhere near ringside.
Yeah.
It's like usually do the thing where like they hit the move and then the 3 count and then the tag partner slides in.
Yeah, it was
And
odd.
it's like, and that didn't happen. It was like she was like still by Ashante, which was like 15 feet and he was like at the barricade, which is like 15 feet away from the ring.
Right. And I
I was
feel,
like, why do you? Oh my god, that pissed me off so
I
much.
feel like too, they're not going to do anything with this for a while. Maybe it's something backstage, but nothing for a while because I think they're going to load the next 2 episodes up. They're gonna probably cut this from the show the next couple of weeks. So I don't think nothing's even going to happen with this the next couple of weeks. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Maybe one thing backstage, and that's it.
Definitely, like it just doesn't have any room on the show, and it was a stupid. It was a stupid way to get Rosemary and Wendy Chu a win.
Yeah.
Not the fact that Rosemary and Wendy Chu didn't need the win because Wendy Chu's been kind of on a losing streak on both brands recently, so
Right.
she kind of needed that win. But yeah, it's just more competitive match would have been nice.
I don't really
It's
know
very
what.
short.
Yeah, I'll give this like 2. I gave it like 2 stars because it was going well until the Ashani the Adonis thing happened.
It's dumb as shit. And then there was that Punk segment that I mentioned and you kind of covered over. And then I forgot to mention this earlier. They made a tag match between Cedric and Javon versus Theory and Waller
Yeah.
for later on in the show after that segment. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
So they go to commercial break. Of course, Cedric and Javon Evans made their entrance and they go to commercial break. They come back and then the Fatal Whores get their turn at a press conference. And they say that they're going to be on top of the women's division. They're going to prove that by winning championships, which they're not because they're all hosts. Yeah, I don't care. I do not give a shit about anyone in this group.
Right. Yeah.
None of them are interesting. This is the best that they can do with any of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful. It is horrifically bad.
They made the match earlier with which I don't even. This match shouldn't be on episode 1 on CW. It's gonna be Lola Vice and Johnny Parker versus 2 members of Fatal Influence. I don't get why this match is gonna take place in episode 1. I guarantee you this match is gonna go in like a dead spot of the show, like after the street fight or
I
after
hope so.
like yeah. I'm not
It's
that
forgotten about.
yeah.
It's
I
like,
feel
is
like-
this the best they can do with Fallon Henley?
Yeah. I mean,
Because they seem to be focusing on the wrong parts of the team.
yeah.
They're focusing on Jasmine Nix, who can't wrestle, and she's just hot. And they're focusing on JC Jane, who literally still can't wrestle, and she's been at the PC for 6 years.
And apparently on the indies too. So
She was even terrible then.
yeah, I don't get this. And again, I've talked about this faction before. It doesn't make sense. The whole reason they're together is to take out all the NXT like rookies. And one of them is in the faction, and it's like the worst rookie that they all can't stand. That they say like.
It's insane. It's like they put together the Pure Fusion Collective, and then they're like, you know what? Let's put this team together too,
and
we'll call them Fatal Influence.
It's a worse version of it too. It's almost like Triple H and Shawn Michaels had a bet to see who could book the worst faction. Like that's almost like what
Yes.
it is. That's almost what it. I feel like that's
But
the only reason.
At the premise of it, at least Pure Fusion Collective is actually good.
Yeah.
At the bare bones, like Shane is actually good.
Yeah.
Zoe's actually good, and Sonya's decent.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one, none of them are. Fallon Henley is the best one by about 7 million miles.
But
JC's terrible,
yeah.
and Jasmine sucks.
And I'm making an argument. Fallon's regressed, but because of her heel turn, it's ruined her. So it's like even she's
Oh,
not good. Like that.
completely ruined her.
Yeah, I don't think she'll ever recover from it either. So
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason for her to turn heel, and they did it in the most predictable way possible.
no setup either. Like we talked.
None.
Um,
It was like 1 week she was angry,
yeah,
and then she was like standing in the court. She was very angry at Chase U,
and this
and the
doesn't.
next week she turned. It was like
Yeah,
there
and
was
this,
no respite. There was no like,
yeah,
oh hey, I don't like you. It was like,
right.
here's the turn that we could see coming from a million miles away.
And it's so weird because they got away from all of like Fallon Henley's like gimmicks overnight. Like she doesn't own the ball all of a sudden anymore, and she's not a country girl all of a sudden anymore. Like all of her character traits are like gone
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
It's like what happened?
It's the way that this stupid fucking NXT is built. It's built around their looks
Yeah,
instead of their characters or their gimmicks.
and it doesn't make sense. And it
Not
doesn't.
country anymore.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk about being country or the bar. It's just them being hot.
It doesn't talk about being with like Brooks and Jensen anymore. Oh, Briggs and Jensen. I did it again.
There it is.
And also too it doesn't. If you forget for like months and months and months, JC Jane and Fallon Henley were feuding, were feuding, like for months, and all of a sudden they're like together now. Also, I do want to mention they tried to make sense out of it that they like grew up, that they like wrestled together on the Indies all that time ago. I guarantee you it's gonna be like, remember that episode of Collision, the last episode of Collision you watched, when Nigel McGuinness like mentioned that like Lady Frost's like uncle teamed up with Bruno Sammartino. We would find out like they only had like Nigel made it sound like they were like a tag team, but they only had like 2 matches together, and it wasn't even Bruno Sammartino. He was like a different gimmick or something like that. I guarantee you that
He was Batman.
I guarantee you it's gonna be like the same thing with Fallon Henley and JCG, and they probably only worked like 3 indie shows together, but they've been on the road together all those years or something. That's probably how it was. It's probably like 3 indie shows.
Just stupid.
It's factions. And then what's even worse is they're putting together Jada Parker and Lola Vice. Lola Vice is beyond ruined, and that's some of her fault, some of NXT's fault. Because she was about to
think it's NXT's fault because she's really fucking good.
Well, I say some of her fault because that Go Home promo where she cried, kind of. I think that was meant to rebuild her, and then it ruined her. And then
it's also not been. She's not been like in any spotlight either.
Because you've been doing this, and then Jada Parker's just bad.
I just don't think Jada Parker is good.
Yeah, she had
Like,
potential.
they pushed her way too. First of all, she was the manager for Out the Mud. Remember that?
Yeah,
no,
no
one does.
They're probably done after. They're probably not going. They're probably not going to get on the show as much.
And then they focused on the fact that she has an ass.
Yeah,
And that's the only thing they focused on. And they ignored her skills or lack thereof in the ring, and only focused on the fact that she has an ass. And her finisher is still the same thing, where she runs and hits you with her ass.
this match is going to be bad. This match is going to. I guarantee you, we're going to like NXT for this.
The only reason why they are teaming up next week is for the perverts.
Yeah. I guarantee you, by the way, when we review NXT's first episode on CW, it's going to be nearly a perfect show. This is going to be the match that brings it way down. Well, unless something really bad happens in the women's title match, which we'll probably talk about later on. But, yeah.
Yes. Next, the commentary team, they hype up the matches for next week, and then it's the tag team match, the main event of the show. Not the actual main event is after this, but the main event match on the show. It's A-Town Down Under versus Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. And this match was really good.
It really was. Probably my best.
Very, very good.
The best match of the whole show.
Again, the quality of talent that's in the ring makes it. You got Grayson, you got Austin, you got Cedric, and you got Javon.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the quality that's in the ring together. They put together a great match. A-Town down under and end up winning with A-Town down from Austin Theory. They And then post match, the Fraction come out and they argue that after they chase off A-Town Down Under. But I thought the match itself was great. It's leading to a lot of intrigue.
Yeah.
I think A-Town Down Under got the last win together.
Let's see.
Before they break up. So
yeah, I gave the match
it was a really good match.
I gave the match 4 stars. I thought everyone was protected really well because Javon took the pin, and I thought they protected him in defeat because they had Axiom and Nathan Frazier interfere in the match, which kind of cost Javon Evans the match. And I thought that kind of because he got tripped up on the ropes and stuff, and that's what caused him to lose. So I actually kind of liked how they did the finish because they had to protect Javon since he's facing Randy. But they wanted to give A-Town Down Under a win before they have the NXT Tag Title match. So they could have just had Cedric take the pin and no one would have complained. But I actually kind of liked how they did it because this could set up a future tag title match if they want to between Cedric and Javon versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier now if they want to. So
yeah, I mean they set up multiple different things.
Yeah.
And then Trick Williams, it has his chance at the press conference, and he basically says that he's going to win the title back and to become a 2-time NXT champion. And he'll do everything in his power to make sure that next week he regains his NXT championship. I thought, again, it was a very solid press conference. I do say, though, it's a lot of press conferences on this show.
Yeah.
Or just being a regular show and not like a PLE or anything like that. There was just too many of them.
Yeah. I could have done without this. I feel like Trick kind of did his thing early with Punk. That could have just been it. I feel like too I am going to say this. There might have been they didn't want to do too much on this show because they wanted to kind of really just get ready for the next show. Kind of felt like they did this, so I think they loaded the show with a bunch of press conferences to kind of build up the matches. I could have done without the Trick Williams press conference. The Ethan Page one I was fine with, but I could have done without the Trick Williams one.
Yeah, I could have done without the Trick Williams one. The Ethan one was fine, and the Oba was fine. Oba one was fine because it was short, but they also did
the press conferences weirdly too. Like I thought when they advertised it, they were all gonna be like there answering questions type of thing, and I didn't think they didn't really do a good job advertising it. It was just kind of sprinkled through. This honestly felt like something like you remember like before they did In Your House or Stand and Deliver like the takeover versions. They did that like Q&A thing with Wade Barrett. I thought it was gonna be like something like that, like online or something like that. It wasn't that way at all.
Yeah, it wasn't that way at all. Now we get to the interesting part, the second interesting part of the show.
Oh, and also
interesting part of the main event.
I'll say this too. We also had 2 press conferences back to back, which I think is what killed the
Yes, that felt very odd. That felt very, very odd. To kind of have them back to back like that in between segments, in between matches, but.
I do want to say good job. Trick actually answered all the questions. He didn't get tired of it or anything like that. He was actually a good sport right there. So good job.
He's a good boy.
That might maybe.
But then
let's get to the big thing.
The biggest thing of the night. So what a way to close it out too. They have Roxanne Perez backstage, and it cuts to Julia, and she's backstage, but she's with Funaki.
Mm-hmm.
They've been using Funaki a lot as a interpreter, and because he does Japanese commentary for WWE, and he's done for ages.
He has. Yeah.
He was also in the Kenta, or at the time Hideo Itami, sort of angle with the Ascension before Finn Balor got involved and made his debut. He was kind of like the interpreter, or the friend to Kenta at the time, but we haven't seen him since then. So we've been seeing him a lot recently with Julia, because Julia can't speak English, but it's obviously not her first language. So, and Funaki's is fluent in English, so he kind of takes that role for Japanese wrestlers who kind of struggle with English. But that was awesome to see. Very excited that he's that I got to see Funaki again.
Yeah, I mean SmackDown's #1 announcer. We gotta see him. You know.
He is SmackDown's #1 announcer. He's one of the greatest cruiserweight champions of all time. And then Julia was asked about her what she thinks about Roxanne Perez's title reign. She says that she's worthy champion, and that Julia said that she's going to take her championship and create her new opportunities. That she says she's going to win in Chicago. I'm not going to go over this entire thing because it's a really good segment. I really advise you all to go and watch it, and not just go off what we say.
I think the full thing's on YouTube, so
it's up now on YouTube by now. And then at the very end, Byron Saxton kind of cut off everyone, basically saying that this portion is done for asking questions, and then you hear someone talking in the distance on the Titantron. And they flipped the Tron. It's Stephanie Vacker.
Mm-hmm.
And that she said that she's going to be waiting for either one of them. Whoever comes out on the other side as champion. And that is how they wrapped up the show with the big debut promo, if you want to say, of Stephanie Vacker when she was on the Tron. And that was a very explosive way to end the last NXT on the USA Network. This entire segment, I just say go back and watch it, because no amount of me talking about it can really do justice to the segment, because it was awesome. It was a great segment. And you got Stephanie Vacker at the end to really close out the show, and it kind of cuts to Stephanie, and then it cuts back to the ring, and it's really going to be that next match is going to be insane. If we're going to get a Julia versus Stephanie Vacker match, or are we going to get a Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vacker? Either way, wow, holy shit.
Yeah, this was awesome. The Stephanie Vacker debuted in a big way, and in a way that suits her strengths and everything like that. Kind of adds unpredictability now to the NXT Women's Title match. It makes me kind of worried now, though, because I'm worried that Roxanne Perez is going to retain, which I kind of don't want to happen, because I'm ready for a new champion, and I feel like it would kind of make Julia look bad if she loses. This could do that, I would still have Julia win. I know they want to do that Stephanie Vacuum match, but there's still ways they can hold off on it. With Julia as champion, they could always have, Fatal Influence kind of get involved and, set up a tag match with them. Maybe that's why they're trying to heat up Fatal Influence some more, so that way they can just they're essentially gonna get, which I think is awesome. They're gonna get built up just to kind of make Julia and Steffi Vacuum look good, which is exactly how you use Fatal Influence. It's just to make other people look good. So, I am very interested. Some people have made they could use this to set up a triple threat at Halloween Havoc. But I'm really interested to see where they go with this. This was a really good segment right here, and everyone came out looking good. And I'll just say it, it looks like AEW kind of dropped the ball, kind of letting Steffi Vacuum sign away with WWE. If this is because WWE, I think debuted her a bigger way than AEW did. I think she just showed up and already had a match set up for Forbidden Door, and then just lost and didn't really do much and everything like that. Here she actually shows like she's gonna be like a final boss presence and everything like that.
Yeah, I love it.
That was NXT. Overall, I thought this was a good show. I'll give it a B-. I was kind of disappointed because I thought, other than the Steffi Vacuum stuff and the CM Punk stuff, they didn't really do anything all that big. it did kind of feel like this was kind of just like them not trying to do too much. They were kind of creatively exhausted. So they kind of just loaded the show with press conferences, and I could have done a little less so with that. So I'm going to give this like a B-.
I give it a B. It was a really good show. I loved it. I thought it was a really good show from top to bottom. A lot of like the press conferences for me were a little bit too much, just for my liking. But overall, I thought the show was very good and a really good way to close out, and a phenomenal ending to close out NXT on USA.
Yeah, definitely. Then we have SmackDown for this week, the last show we're going to cover for September 29th, 2024. We had Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary for this show. And it kicks off with Randy Orton. He comes out and, he talks about how he doesn't trust a lot of people in this locker room. He's kind of burned a lot of bridges, but there's one person that he does trust, but he's kind of doing something that makes me kind of question him a little bit. And he calls out Cody Rhodes, and I think you can see where this is going. Randy Orton wants to know why Cody Rhodes is teaming up with Roman Reigns to take down the Bloodline. And Cody Rhodes kind of talks about how the only way to kind of take down the Bloodline is through the enemy. The enemy is my friend. He talks about how Roman Reigns started the Bloodline and they kind of have a common enemy. He talked about how he looked Roman Reigns in the last week and he said that he would have my back. And Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes wants to make sure with Randy Orton that it's not going to be a problem. And Randy Orton says that right now it's cool unless you make it a problem. Kind of showing that something could come out of that type of thing. And they kind of shake hands. And Kevin Owens comes out. He's kind of about to give his thoughts of what he thinks about all of this. But before he can, he gets cut off. And the Bloodline comes out. This is Solo's return to SmackDown after being off a week. And Solo Sikoa talks about, he's kind of trying to manipulate the situation where Cody Rhodes has to kind of get someone like Roman Reigns to be in there because Roman Reigns and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, he's tried to team up with them, but they've been taken out and they haven't been able to get the job done. So this causes Kevin Owens to make a challenge for a tag match with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And Cody Rhodes is going to make the offer to step in and team up with them to kind of make the odds even. But Kevin Owens kind of tells Cody Rhodes to stay out of it, saying that, this is him and Randy's fight. You get them at Bad Blood. We want to finish this tonight. So I like this. I kind of like what they're setting up with Kevin Owens. And it kind of makes sense how they're setting this up with Kevin Owens. Because out of everyone, probably on the whole roster, other than, people in the Bloodline, he's the only one outside of, Bloodline family that's, been at war with the Bloodline the longest, the original versions of it and stuff. So it kind of makes sense why you will question what Kevin Owens' feelings kind of going into this. So I really liked this. Overall, what'd you think of this?
I liked it. I liked the opening segment. It's definitely Kevin's definitely conflicted, and he's almost kind of upset at Cody. But I really like where it's going.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going. It could lead to a heel turn for Kevin Owens. I was kind of thinking I really don't like the fact that they're going to turn him heel, but he kind of needs a heel turn because all he does now is really feud with the Bloodlines, and I think we've talked about this before. There's not a lot of heels for him to face, but there's a lot of potential you can do with him. Especially too, no one on the main roster has seen how he was booked as a heel when Triple H was booking him. I think Triple H will do him massively as a heel, and there's so many baby faces that he could feud with. I mean, and LA Knight, Kevin Owens team up for the U.S. title. I think that would be a hell of a program. Like Randy Orton, there's that program. We haven't really seen Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, I don't think, in a feud. So I think Kevin Owens as a heel, I think kind of needs to happen. I feel like he's kind of done everything that he could do as a face. Now, obviously, this depends. We'll just kind of talk about this now. His contract's up, so this could be a way where he's gonna have one final story in WWE, and he'll have a loser leaves WWE match. I fully kind of expect him to resign just because he kind of stuck through all the shit kind of doing the Vince era and stuff, and now that he's being booked well, I don't see why he would leave. The only reason I could see him leaving is maybe he wants to do something different and go to AEW or go to Impact and do something different, but I don't think he's going to leave. I feel like if he was gonna leave, he would have left a bit ago, like 2021 time when he wasn't being booked well. But what do you kind of think about? I feel like, do you think Kevin Owens is gonna stick around, or do you think he's weighing his options?
I think he'll stick around. I think he
Um,
will.
and then Nia Jax is backstage. Um, and she's upset with Tiffany Stratton because everything didn't really go as planned for them last week because they thought they were going to get rid of Bayley and Naomi. And she kind of blames Tiffany Stratton for it, even though Nia was the one that got pinned, but whatever. So she said if nothing doesn't go well for her tonight, she's going to take out the beating on Tiffany Stratton. Not the greatest backstage segment. I didn't really think Nia's delivery was too great here, but I did like it in the sense that it continues that feud down the line they want to do with Tiffany and Nia. This makes me question now if Tiffany's going to be the one to go face because Nia's the one that's kind of being heel issue, and this is going to cause like Tiffany to finally stand up for Wolf and cash in on Nia. But it'd be kind of weird to see Tiffany as a face, so it'd be interesting. Overall, what'd you think of this?
I thought the segment was very not clumsy, but like I don't know. It was a very odd segment, but I think Tiffany's going face.
I hope so. I hope so. Then we had a women's championship #1 contenders match. It was Bayley versus Naomi. Very good match. Really back and forth. Really could have been any of these two that won. But eventually Bayley hits the that like headlock driver move. I forget what it's called, and then followed by the elbow for the win. Afterwards, they kind of show respect to each other, so it's going to be Bayley versus Nia Jax at Bad Blood for the title. And yeah, that's kind of it. I would have preferred Naomi to win because I feel like Bayley kind of went and we're not really doing anything new there. There's really nothing really new that's happening there. But maybe with us saving Naomi for like Survivor Series or something. But I give the match like 3 3/4 stars. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, the match was good. I give it 3 1/4.
Then Andrade's backstage, and he goes up to LA Knight, and he says that real men shakes people's hands to show respect for each other, but LA Knight didn't do that, so that made Andrade lose respect for him. And during all of this, Carmelo Hayes attacks. LA Knight kind of sends him over like one of those equipment boxes cases, and he kind of goes on Andrade into attacking him. And I like this. They're setting up some type of 3-way feud for the U.S. title that's building for a while. I kind of like that. It's not just going to be two faces going up against a heel because they're giving reasons why LA Knight and Andrade don't like each other. So I like this. What do you think of this?
I thought it was good. It definitely gave a reason for them to be feuding with each other. Yeah, I liked it.
Then we had match 6 between Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. This was great. This got two picture-in-picture commercial breaks, which I thought was awesome. Just go watch this match for yourself. It was very back and forth. I like that this match, they always keep doing new stuff in the matches. This match was different than the other the other 5 matches /6 matches that they've had with each other. Eventually, LA Knight comes out, and he causes a distraction for Andrade. Andrade almost hits him, and this causes Carmelo Hayes to beat him with a roll-up. And Andrade looks upset with LA Knight. Later on, you didn't see this on the show. This happened in like a WWE.com exclusive. You saw Andrade and LA Knight almost get into a brawl with each other. So I really liked this. I thought the match was great. I gave it 4 3/4 stars. And I feel like match 7 is going to be the end. I don't think we're going to get match 7 for a while. I think they're going to do this 3-way U.S. title feud for a while. And then like the last bit of it will be match 7. Maybe like... I hope that 7 has a stipulation like an Iron Man match or like a ladder match. Maybe when it gets contendership for the title or something. But yeah, I like this match a lot. What'd you think of this?
This match was awesome. I give it 4.5 stars. It was great. Amazing match.
And then we had Kevin Owens and Randy Orton backstage. They were kind of talking strategy about their tag match with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. And then Cody Rhodes comes up and basically kind of tells Kevin Owens that they need to have like a chat about kind of what's going on. And Kevin Owens says that they're going to talk about it, but right now he just wants to work out strategy with Randy Orton. But he says we are going to have that talk. And then when Kevin Owens walks away, Randy Orton kind of says that he's going to go talk to him, kind of cool him off. But because also Kevin Owens kind of told Cody to stay away. He kind of wants them to handle the bloodline. But Randy knows that the bloodline's going to pull some shady business. So he says that if you feel like it's necessary, definitely go out there. So I like this. They're kind of setting up some tension between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, and kind of teasing a heel turn with Kevin Owens some more. So what you think of this? I thought this was good.
I thought it was another really good segment. I liked it.
Then we had an AJ Styles vignette. They're hyping up his return comeback. I'm happy about this. I'm ready to see AJ Styles come back. I don't know what he's going to do when he comes back, because it seems like all the top guys have kind of got stuff going on, so I don't know. Maybe he'll kind of interject himself into the U.S. title program and make that a four-way, since he's got history with LA Knight. Or maybe he's going to go babyface. I'm really not sure. I imagine next week. He just says he's coming back. They didn't say what he's going to do, if he's going to do a promo or a match. But I'm looking forward to seeing AJ Styles come back. So what do you think of this?
I liked it. Having AJ back is good. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what he does.
SmackDown's in Atlanta next week, right? Because it's the go home week before Hell in a Cell. They usually like to have the SmackDown be in the same place lately, as the PLE. If it's in Atlanta, I think he could come back as a face since he's from Atlanta. What do you think?
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Actually,
I don't know who he feuds with though. There's a lot of stuff he can do. Santos, he doesn't have anything going on. He could feud with AJ. That'd be cool. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what AJ does when he comes back. So we'll see. I'm happy though, because a lot of people kept saying like he was gonna leave because he's been off for so long and everything like that. So I mean, unfortunately, it didn't stop those rumors, because now everyone's saying that his contract is up. But like, I feel like if he wasn't coming back, he'd be leaving. So I don't know what people are talking about. I don't know what people. It's like people want him to leave and go other places. So it's like I notice it's more so with like the AEW fan base than with the WWE. They won't accept defeat until they see that pen's been reached to paper. Like, if the dude's coming back, I don't think he's going anywhere. So I don't get that. Like, it's like AEW fans don't want to admit defeat sometimes. They're very stubborn in that way.
Yeah.
Then we had Mia Yim, and I'm saying Mia Yim here because you think the new name's stupid. I'm saying Mia Yim, versus Piper Niven. It was a good match, good back and forth match. Mia Yim wins with eat defeat, then kind of takes off. Doing all this, Chelsea Green came out with a trash can, and apparently it smelled really bad, so Michael Cole kept talking about it the whole match, which was just hilarious. And yeah, that's about the highlight of the whole match. I gave the match 3 stars. I'm ready for the dumpster match next week. I think Michael Cole is more ready for it than any of us, though. He's really looking forward to that dumpster match. What do you think of this?
Oh, he is. He's excited. He's more than ready.
Then we had a promo doing earlier in the day on social media. Nick Aldis announced there's going to be a triple threat ladder match on the Go Home episode before Bad Blood between DIY, the Bloodline, and the Street Profits. So everyone did like a promo, talk about why they're going to win that match. I'm really looking forward to that ladder match. I think that match is going to be insane. That might be the main event of the Go Home episode before Bad Blood. And I'm really looking forward to it. What'd you think?
I'm looking forward to it today. It's going to be interesting.
And it makes sense for it to be a ladder match. They're not just randomly throwing all these people in a ladder match. They've been feuding for like the past couple of weeks. It's not like, not like they just woke up today and just said, hey, we're going to do a ladder match just randomly for no reason. So
they could have. The second their eyes opened up, ladder match.
Very well could have happened. But, I mean, in GM, you don't know what you're doing until the day of the show. So, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. And then we had, let's see. We had a promo segment between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, where they announced they're going to be the hosts of Bad Blood. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think that's going to be cool. Kind of where Bad Blood has hosts, though. I don't. Is that really worthy of hostage? Then again, you are hosting the first episode of NXT, so define hostage, I guess. What's hostage worthy? So, Now,
I define it.
let me make it. You're just hosting it like I'm calling to your house phone. You're not actually the host of the first episode of NXT and CW. I just want to make sure I make that very clear. I know. I think you thought for a second that you were the host. That someone called you and you were the host of it. Like I had.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of the fact that Bianca and Jay Cargill are hosting Bad Blood? I think that's cool.
I think it's cool. I like it.
I imagine they're gonna do something where they set up a women's tag title match. Like I feel like Damage Control's gonna show up and like cause a ruckus. So, you know. Then we had Naomi backstage, and Bayley comes up to her, and kind of Naomi at first acted like she wasn't happy that like things didn't go their way, but it kind of seemed like cooler heads prevailed, which is good. A lot of people thinking they're turning, but she's not turning. Get out of that. She's not turning. They're fine. It's fine. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing at all. Not one thing. And then Tiffany Stratton comes up and makes fun of her, and she says she's gonna go make a match for the next episode of SmackDown. And I don't think that match was made official, but I imagine that match is gonna happen. So, what do you think of this segment? I thought it was fine. Nice little segment right here.
Yeah.
Then we had the main event. It was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. A good match right here. Eventually the bloodline kind of starts to interfere, so this kind of leads to Cody Rhodes coming out and kind of even in the odds. But then he gets taken out by Jacob Fatu, and when Kevin Owens was about to get the win, Jacob Fatu puts him in the ring, and he ends up taking out the official's leg. So this causes a distraction. And Kevin Owens gets pinned with a spinning sidekick by Jacob Fatu. Finish was a little weird. I didn't mind the stuff with the referee finish, but it kind of Kevin Owens kind of lost very uneventfully. It was kind of weird. And then afterwards, Kevin Owens was upset with Cody Rhodes that he kind of cost him the match. Because they've been saying the past few weeks, like this statistic on the commentary, that Kevin Owens has never pinned a member of the Bloodline, which isn't true. He's pinned the Usos in the Bloodline like a ton of times. I think he pinned Solo like once, so I don't know what you're talking about there. That's totally not true. I don't know if he meant like this version of the Bloodline, but he's totally pinned a member of like the Bloodline. Like he's pinned the Usos like a bunch of times. So I don't know what he's talking. I don't know what I don't know. I think people are getting the facts wrong right there. Either that or they're just ignoring him because he's totally pinned a member of the Bloodline. So I don't know what they're talking about. Then afterwards, Kevin Owens, he did hug Cody and stuff and kind of forgave him, but I don't think he fully forgave him. I think he's still kind of mad at him, so let's hope they can kind of work that out. But overall, I thought SmackDown was great. I gave it like a B+. I really, the highlight was the Andrade Carmelo match. I like the stuff they're doing with Kevin Owens and the Bloodline. I like what they're doing with. I like the promos setting up the ladder match, and I like the stuff they're doing to set up the dumpster match. So overall, I give SmackDown like a B+. I thought it was a great show. What did you think of SmackDown?
I give SmackDown a B+. I thought it was a really great show. I thought the ending was when Cody got thrown in the ring. I thought it was a little clunky and a little weird. I was like, they didn't need to do that, but other than that, I thought that the show was great.
I know you had to kind of squeeze that in there. I forgot to ask your thoughts on what you thought of the main event. I'll be like,
yeah, because you forget about me.
but you're thinking to yourself like, all right, you're just waiting for me to give you you're just waiting like, okay, he's gonna ask me my thoughts. You had like this essay written down, like 2 pages, ready to give your thoughts out, and then like I just ruined it. Like those pages probably went on the freaking ground, crumpled. Like, okay, I guess I don't get to give my thoughts on. I guess I don't get to give my thoughts on this segment. So.
Throwing down.
So you have to like squeeze it in there at the end, like, oh yeah, this is what you didn't say it you said it without saying that, like, yeah, by the way, this is what I thought of this, like kind of taking like a little jab right there, like, yeah, this is what I thought of this, by the way, buddy. Like,
this is what I thought of this asshole thing. So you're fucking. Thanks for caring about me.
And yeah, you notice I did all my letter grades first. You didn't even get to do any letter grades first. It was all me first. It was like, it's just like, yeah, thanks for asking what I thought of these shows first. So you get to go first every time. Notice too, I made my letter grades like pretty high, except for like NXT. Like, wow, now I gotta give it like the same grade, and like I can't give it a grade lower because I'll look like an asshole now. Like, wow, thanks a lot. Like, it's just like you're just like,
that's just what I am. I'm the asshole.
But yeah, so that's the end of the news review shows. The show, I said news review shows, like we're reviewing the news.
the news review show. Like we fucking review news.
But yeah,
We're just news anchors.
there's one news site that came out of WWE this week. Logan Paul and his fiance. I forget her name off the top of my head, but the child was just born recently. I think it was yesterday, right? Am I right on that?
Yes,
So,
I think it was yesterday.
pretty excited for them. This probably means we're not going to see Logan Paul for a while. I imagine he was probably supposed to work.
That was kind of he was taking time off anyway. So
yeah. So like, I'm happy for them. I think Logan Paul is going to be a good dad. I feel like Logan Paul is going to go on podcast and he's just going to like be very tired now, and he's just not going to understand like, you know, what's going on. But I think Logan Paul's ready. He's matured enough to be a dad, so I think he's ready. Think he's ready. You think he's ready, or you don't think he's ready?
I think he's ready.
Do you want him?
I think he's ready to get his ass back in there. He said on Impulsive, the one with little bitch Dom, that he was looking to make 2025 full-time year for him.
Which is kind of interesting because you'd think he'd do it before his son was born, but I guess maybe he wants. Maybe he doesn't want to be a dad. Maybe he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna be a full-time, so I could just.
Well, his wife, fiance, she's a model, so it's not like she's flying all over the world anymore.
That's true. So
she was a model. She was a Sports Illustrated model.
Yeah.
Nina Agdal.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it was kind of a slow news week in WWE. A lot of advertising for NXT on CW. Because we already covered Saturday Night's main event coming back. I don't think we have anything else. Oh, well, there's a couple of news that broke these past couple of days. I forgot. SummerSlam is going to be next year. It's going to be a 2-night show. Which I'm happy about. You know, I think SummerSlam kind of needs to be 2 nights now. It's one of the big 4. And I think SummerSlam this year...
They have to make it feel special again.
Yeah. I feel like, too, SummerSlam
That's been special for a long time.
Yeah, and I think SummerSlam this year, kind of the length of it and stuff kind of showed it needed to be 2 nights. I kind of hope this sets this table for at least... I think the Rumble could be 2 nights, too. Because, you know, having 2 Rumble matches on the same show, I think is kind of not really what... I'm more in favor of it recently, but I think it's kind of not working the best. So I'm kind of ready for Rumble to be 2 nights. I don't think Survivor Series needs to be 2 nights. I think that...
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Maybe not Money in the Bank either, because that's that's like one of the big shows. But I think SummerSlam being
unless if they want to do like a female War Games match and a male War Games match, then I can see that.
Yeah, but I think SummerSlam being 2 nights now, I think it's pretty cool.
SmackDown Beyond needs it now. It's becoming like a WrestleMania again.
Yeah. So, I'll be interested.
Because for a while there, it felt like just a regular old pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And now it's like under the Triple H era, he's made Survivor Series feel important because for the longest time, it was WrestleMania was number 1.
Yeah.
Survivor Series was number 2, and then eventually became SummerSlam was 2, Survivor Series 3, Rumble was 4, and now it's WrestleMania, Rumble, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam, and then Survivor Series.
Right.
But it's SummerSlam needs 2 nights. It needs to be treated like WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
They call it, the tagline is the biggest party of the summer, and before the last 2 years, it hasn't felt like the biggest party of the summer.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. And then we found out this year, the Royal Rumble is going to in Indianapolis also, and it's going to be later this year, you know, because I think WrestleMania is later, so that's why they're pushing the Rumble later.
Yeah, everything's later this year.
Yeah, well, next year. Rumble's gonna be February 1st. Is that gonna conflict with will it be the same week as Super Bowl week? Will that conflict with that? Because isn't Super Bowl usually like early February, or will that not conflict?
I don't think it is, because there's a week off between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl.
But yeah, this is going to be kind of unique because...
and they wouldn't jump in, it's February 9th.
Okay.
So it is the. Let's see. So Super Bowl's February 9th. That's Sunday, February 9th, and it's February 1st,
Yeah.
which is it's that week.
Yeah. So you're gonna get your wrestling fix in and your football fix in the same week. So, but yeah, I think it kind of makes sense to kind of push everything back since everything's later this year. It'll be kind of interesting just because. I mean, I know NXT is probably gonna do Deadline in December because they've been doing that the past couple of years. But a main roster show is gonna have a 2-month PLE layoff, which is pretty unique. But I think it kind of makes sense because I feel like they're gonna treat some of the TV shows in that time like big deals. I think Saturday night's main event would be kind of like the replacement for like a PLE. Like they're probably gonna put a lot of big matches on there. The first Raw on Netflix will be pretty big. But yeah, I'm kind of happy. Rumble's gonna be in February. Will be kind of interesting to see how that works. Plus, too, I'm pretty sure it kind of works out better anyways, because I think the past couple of years we've had the Rumble. There's been a big snowstorm happen. I remember in 2022 there was like a huge one, and then in 2023, pretty sure that was a pretty big one. So. At least where I was, there was, and then 2024. Well, 2024, I was there for it, so I don't know. You would have to be at the. I don't know if there was a big snowstorm for that one.
There wasn't. We got up light this year.
So, but yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I can't think of any other news that we have to really break. Any other news that's pretty news breaking on WWE side of things? I think that's been all AEW news.
It's happened yet. I mean, we'll probably be talking more about news-wise come when we review the first episode of the C-Dub on the C-Dub, so
yeah, so I'm excited about also tonight's Raw / last night's Raw. This is the last full time 3-hour Raw for a while. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I was kind of I'm kind of worried about what Raw's gonna be like when it goes to 2 hours. I feel like a lot of wrestlers are gonna get left off, so I wonder if they're gonna culminate some storylines tonight or kind of try to figure that out. At least Raw got a few weeks' notice. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see what happens. So, what do you think? Tonight's the last 3-hour Raw for a while.
It's going to suck. I've grown accustomed to 3 hours of Raw, and I've been a fervent supporter of 3-hour Monday Night Raw. You know this. I've been a huge supporter of the 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. Even in the dark times, I've always been a fan of the 3-hour Monday Night Raw because it gives me another hour. It gives me another hour of my favorite brand in wrestling to watch. And now you're taking that away from me, and I don't like it.
Hey, at least you get to go to bed early because you'll get to go to bed at 10 o'clock on Mondays.
The time to move Raw to 2 hours was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Not now. Not just because WWE's moving off of Raw's moving off your Monday night time slot. You don't need to punish them I feel like, honestly, it's the weirdest thing because Raw moves to Netflix, NXT moves to the CW, SmackDown moves to USA. You wouldn't think that they would try to fuck over WWE, but they kind of are in a way. And by the way, too, they almost yanked fucking NXT off the air last night. Or not last week.
Maybe that's why
they almost pulled them off the air.
Damn.
Because of the overrun.
That's stupid. We would have missed Steffi Vacuum's debut then. That would have been bad.
Yeah, they almost pulled it off the air.
Yeah.
The fucking like that's not the way like you do business with a company that you've done business with for fucking 30 years.
And still are.
30 plus years.
Yeah.
Give or take, because they left for a couple of years, but like 30 plus years,
yeah,
on and off.
I mean, it's gonna suck for the talent too, the Vlogaboos, because a lot of people I think are gonna get lost in the shuffle now. I kind of hope they can stick through it because when in January for at least a few months we're gonna get Raw and SmackDown being 3 hours. So I kind of hope they can stick through that, because that's a good time for Raw and SmackDown to be 3 hours, especially if a lot of things that are going to happen. Because that's when the Bloodline thing, especially on SmackDown side of it, that's when the Bloodline thing's going to go like real heavy.
SmackDown going to 3 hours is crazy because there's a lot of stuff going on in SmackDown right now.
Right, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with Raw to be in the 3 hours. We'll see, I feel like some people are celebrating because, they want to have an easier wrestling watch time, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing. I got nothing left. So is there anything you want to plug or promote before we get off of here?
I don't have anything.
Not one thing.
No. Watch NXT tomorrow night on the CW.
/ tonight.
It premieres in the CW, in case if you didn't know. Watch it. 8/7 Central.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm still supposed to go over. The plug has not been pulled on Chris's end, where he's banned me from his house yet. So I could still go over there at the moment, so that's good. Obviously, the stuff on my end. Watson and AJ talks on the On the Talkinator channel. We were supposed to do Yellow Jackets reviews this weekend, but we didn't get to them because my cousin wanted to wait because he has Netflix and it's going to Netflix. Tonight when you're seeing this / today, it could already be there. So and he doesn't have to pay for he pays for Netflix, but then he doesn't have to pay to get Paramount Plus, so that helps. So that's good. And then check out the Wrestling Fortune 44. We're gonna get back to GM mode. Again, I do apologize. Did you see my salvage job on GM, or did you not see it yet?
I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
But yeah, we'll be doing GM mode again. We're back on that trick. We're gonna launch a new show where we review documentaries. This is your job, Chris. You're gonna come up with a name for the show because I can't think of a name and I'm sick of coming up with all the names. So it's your turn.
I mean, you should trust me with that because you came up with the Wrestling Fortune 44 because you thought there was 44 members in Fortune.
Yeah, so maybe you should come up with the name of the docu-series. But the first episode's going to be, the first 2 episodes is going to be reviewing the Vince doc. We're going to break it up into 2 parts because you're further in it than I am. But
I'm down to the final 2.
Yeah, apparently
I watched episode 4 today.
Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to watching that, and then we'll be back for Aftershock, and then if everything goes well, this Friday, Chris and I are gonna make our debut. We're gonna debut the TNA report, where we're gonna review TNA. So definitely check that. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching.